Day Civil Rights Division. They
That's
want
not even a love
transparency,
song.
ballot security, and compliance with
But
federal
look at this.
laws. In California,
And he bought
voting
every
sites
fucking
in
copy
Kern
in the
County will
thing.
be monitored, as well as those in Riverside, Fresno, Orange, and Los Angeles counties. Kern County Sheriff's
Why is he so special?
On multiple weapons charges after he allegedly showed deputies a gun in Rosamond. Christopher Carden allegedly.
What's it about? Have you read it?
And displayed a Glock-style handgun while leaving the scene. A pedestrian has died after a hit-and-run crash in Oildale.
When I bend over, my equilibrium,
after 8:45
I lose
Sunday
my
night on
equilibrium.
Airport Drive near Roberts Lane.
I hope that's just an
It
ear
was a
something.
Halloween celebration
There's
at the
normally shit
Baco
like that.
Market
It's ear
Friday
infection.
evening. Families took their kids out for some
See,
spooktacular
I am
fun
fucking dizzy
outside
as fuck
Dignity
right
Health
now.
Arena. The events are usually held on Saturday.
But I
This
mean,
time,
that
the
can't
market
be
held
right.
A special tent or treat night for kids to dress in
That
costumes
can't be right.
and do some trick-or-treating with vendors. There was music and a lot of food options from the different vendors. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour.
And I got to call elections after the show, right?
96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think? This is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You got to get up close like this. Let them bing! You blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hi, everybody. And a very pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever you may be, however you may be listening, or however you may be viewing for those subscribing on YouTube. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Monday, 27th day of October, because I've got the wrong rundown. Please stand by. We got a busy Monday show. I do know that. Kathy Abernathy will be here at 4 o'clock, as per usual. And the preliminary hearing has been set for the couple accused of aggravated mayhem, murder, in the death of 8-year-old Genesis Mata, found tortured and beaten in a bathtub at the La Quinta Hotel. We'll unpack that a little bit. It's a Monday, so I've got some miscellaneous audio that I'm going to play for you that I collected over the weekend. I don't even know what it means, but it's Phil. I don't even know who that is. I just wrote down Phil. Who could that be?
Phil.
Renovation of the White House, JFK. There's some audio from John Kennedy I want you to hear. Clayton Kershaw, Arnold Schwarzenegger on redistricting.
Did you send any of this to me?
No, I'm playing off my phone.
Okay.
I don't want to inundate
I wanted to
you.
make sure you gave me.
Yeah, no. I know, because I gave you a ton of audio, so I figured I'll just play it off.
To make sure. I was like, you're making me worried here.
No.
Like, wow.
No, none of that. Everything.
Way off today.
And Derek Jeter.
Oh.
Do you know what Derek Jeter audio we're playing?
Oh my gosh.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto will never go 9 innings on Saturday night.
I remember he said something crazy.
He said there's no way he goes 9 innings. And God, that was a beautiful thing to watch. It really was, especially after Friday night. I went to Stockyard with a friend and watched it, and that was difficult.
I was going to say, you swiftly turn it off, or?
No, we suffered through the whole damn thing. You know, I'm a forever believer.
This is true.
Till the 27th out. And then right at the end, some Blue Jay people came in.
We have Blue Jay people?
Yeah. I don't know where they were from.
Thing?
I didn't ask. They were rooting for Toronto. I think just to get under my skin. I always think that. So I can never watch sporting events in bars. Because I always feel like once I say something positive about my team, somebody just chirps just to get under my skin.
I wouldn't take it personally.
I take it extremely personally.
I get you. And I think a lot of people do. But when you like teams like the Dodgers and the Yankees and all of these that just have negative connotations.
Yeah, everybody loves to hate them. Yeah, everybody loves to hate them. Well, it gets back to Dave Roberts' comment. Let's win 4 more and ruin baseball.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what everybody's talking about. So we'll get into that. And more players are being connected to this mafioso poker deal. I told you about Kevin Garnett on Friday. Now they're talking about Antonio Gates, the Hall of Fame tight end that played for the San Diego, literally the San Diego Chargers. He never played in Inglewood, did he? He got out before they moved to LA, I'm
I
pretty
believe
sure.
so. Yeah.
But he's now involved. We'll get into that, and then we'll walk you up. Game time 5:15, 5:20,
Roughly.
The broadcast for Fox starts at 4, and the national anthem and the introduction start at 5. So hopefully the longer the better. And Abby Zwermer, remember her? The 25-year-old school teacher who got shot in the chest by an out-of-control 6-year-old whose mother is already in jail. I didn't know that until I heard the story this morning. The mom is already in jail for carelessly handling the gun, and then they threw a marijuana charge on top of her. She's already doing time, and now they're going after the assistant principal, a woman by the name of Ebony Parker, and she's up for child neglect and child abuse, etc. We'll get into that as well. But we do begin with the Dodgers. I'm sorry. I'm a Dodger fan. See that? My $240 Dodger vest today. It was a beautiful thing to watch. It really, really was. And it just blows my mind how invested I am in this team. You know what I'm saying? I was laying in bed. I didn't do anything Saturday night, just staying home, and nervous as a cat in a room full, long-haired cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
Long-tailed?
Haired, tailed, whatever. The hair could get caught in the rocking chair as well.
True.
And I swear, even in the 9th inning, up 5-1, I'm like, you got to get Vlad. That was a big out. Because if Vlad had hit a home run or a double, and now the momentum gets going up, and you know what? This is my prediction. And it depends on a lot of things happening. Because this is why the 2-3-2 isn't fair. The 2-3-2 is not fair to the team that doesn't have home field advantage. Because do we really have home field advantage? Are we really going to beat Toronto 3 in a row? It's hard to beat. It's hard for the Harlem Globetrotters to beat the Washington Generals 3 in a row.
Wow.
Well, I had to go way out on the exaggeration, but it's just difficult. I mean, we can do it. And it'll start tonight when they go with Max Scherzer, who is as old as I am. And we're going with Tyler Glasnow. And it's a big win tonight because we can get the momentum going. If we lose tonight, the momentum stops. Doesn't prevent us from winning on 2 out of 3 and going back to Canada up 3-2, only having to win 1. But that's why I just don't think it's fair, because the home team, the team without home field advantage essentially has to win twice at the other guy's place, unless you honestly think we're going to beat them 3 in a row in the next 3 days, which I pray, I hope. I'll be the happiest guy in Kern County if we do. It's just not likely.
The way the bat
That would make it 4 in a row.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem. Do we win 2 out of 3? Yes. I don't think there's any question that we win 2 out of 3. So now we're up 3-2 with 2 in Toronto. And granted, we won the championship on the other coast last year. We won that on New York's field. So, going up 3-2, I would feel comfortable. But again, I think they have the advantage because it's hard to beat anybody 3 straight. I just really believe that. But it was a beautiful thing to watch. It really, really was. This kid is our ace. Did you hear the stats on him? That I think it's 7. That in 7 of his either no decisions or losses, the Dodgers have scored either 1 or 0 runs. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, he should be the Cy Young Award winner going away. Could he still win it?
No.
You don't think so? Who's going to be the Cy Young Award?
NL, probably Paul Skeens.
At 10-10?
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch, but it was fun. It was fun. And did you see Austin Reeves last night?
I did. 51. Wow.
Good God Almighty! Where'd that come from?
11-9 or something like that.
Where did that come from?
all the kid needs is an opportunity. I'm saying.
And Luca's out for the rest of the week.
LeBron still got sciatica.
Oh, I'm so tired of him. So tired of him. They're trying to link him to this mafioso deal.
I keep hearing that. I don't know if you're going to get him linked to that though.
Gilbert Arenas said it's crap.
Really?
Yeah, because Gilbert Arenas, remember, got in
Yeah.
trouble for running poker games
Yeah.
out in Encino in
Absolutely.
LA. And he was on some podcast. And by the way, speaking of podcasts, did you see Gavin Newsom on Up in Smoke?
Oh yeah, taking shots at Joe Rogan too.
I didn't
Or that
hear
wasn't-
what he said.
that's
I
not
just
in the same- or
I just
actually
heard
same interview.
one of the bites, but he was on Up in Smoke is a can you call it a basketball podcast?
Not anymore. It started as that, but it's more than that now.
It's Steven Jackson, who most notably played for the San Antonio Spurs, among other teams. He also was on Indiana the night of the classic fight against the Pistons.
I was just about to say he was at the center of that.
Yeah, and Matt Barnes, who played for the Lakers, played for Sacramento. He kind of bounced around for a while. He's most notably known for his
Trying to check Kobe Bryant.
no, are you kidding?
You don't think so?
No.
When he caught the ball and threw it and tried to
And the Kobe didn't flinch.
Kobe didn't flinch. You didn't try to-
No,
you
he's
don't
much
think so?
better known for his fight with Derek Fisher,
Oh, you know what? That's
who
very
is
true.
sleeping with his ex-wife.
That's very true too.
Derek Fisher married Matt Barnes' ex-wife,
He chased him through his own house.
and they used to be teammates. Yeah, tell that story.
Oh, okay. So for the basic part of this is Derek Fisher now married to Matt Barnes' ex-wife.
Which is just wrong.
Right. And like Ralph said, at one point they were teammates on the Lakers and all that. I'm not sure exactly how the two of them met and got married, but that's besides the point. I don't know what the altercation was about. I think it had to do with.
We don't know what it was about.
Wasn't it about his kids?
It was about you're screwing my wife. I
Well-
don't care what the impetus
Yeah.
or the cause. It was about you're screwing my
No,
wife,
the-
my
and the-
ex-wife.
The blows came to it, yes, because obviously it's one alpha male against the other, and he says, "Well, that's my woman." No, it used to be my woman, and then they got into it. And Matt literally chased Derek all throughout Derek's house, just whooping him,
Just killing him.
And the twins have talked about it on whatever show they've been on, if they have their own podcast, and they said it was actually kind of funny to watch.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah. And have you guys seen this? Mr. Flores on the cover of Kern County Family Magazine, he and Lily. It's a great shot there. You guys can see that for those that are subscribing on YouTube. All right, let's get started. Let's go and take our first break of the day. When we come back, I'll tell you about the preliminary hearing that is set for Ray Mata Jr. and Graciela Bustamante, the two standing trial for first-degree murder, aggravated mayhem, torture, child abuse, etc., etc. Justice shall prevail. Let's hope that the DA's office doesn't cut a plea deal. Let's just pray that our local DA doesn't cut a deal with them and give them voluntary manslaughter or something like that, so there's no trial. Then we'll tell you about Abby Zwermer. Her trial begins. They tried and tried and tried to warn the principal like several times that this kid who was known, the 6-year-old, was known for being a problem child, had a gun. Kids saw it. They went to this Ebony Parker, the assistant principal, and told her. They've seen the gun. And she said, well, we'll take care of it after school. And of course, Zwermer got shot in the chest. She's still having problems. She had a collapsed lung. She's now like 27, 28 years old, still having medical issues. It's just crazy. And then Kathy Abernathy at the top of the hour. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Monday, right here on News Talk 96.1, 96.1 FM, and streaming live.
still streaming live. Yes.
Streaming live at kernradio.com. Yes, the AM is still down. But all you need to do is go to YouTube and become a subscriber. Help us get to 1,000 subscriptions. And you can actually watch us do the broadcast. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1, where we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. It's the JR Show.
So the city. Hey, did you want to do Messmaker?
No.
Okay.
What's going on, Dad? I got no audio.
Ribbon and accessory to make your home shine bright this holiday season. Line up the toy soldiers, light those holiday scented candles, deck your mantle with deer and garland, and don't forget the elves. Whether you're decorating your very first tree or your 26th, it all begins in one magical place. Santa's Christmas Shop. Bring the wonder
Men's
and
Health.
warmth of the holidays home. Visit Santa's Christmas Shop inside patio spaces where Christmas truly comes to life and every tree tells a story. 6801 White Lane. That's 6801 White Lane.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-399-7272. 800-399-7272. Again, that's 800-399-7272.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Love I have for you.
842-5376-842-KERN. This is going to be an interesting trial, this Abby Zwermer trial, because they're going after an assistant principal who was just absolutely negligent. And like I said, the mom who carelessly stored the gun that the 6-year-old found, 6 years old. I mean, that's old. That's younger than JR's daughter. Found the gun that was carelessly taken care of at home, took it to school in a backpack, as most 6-year-olds would, showed it off. And this was early in the school day. And at some point, Abby Zwermer, the 26-year-old teacher at the time, went to the principal, went to Ebony Parker and said that this problem kid of ours, who we've had issues with throughout his stay with us, is acting up very peculiarly today. And she ignored that. And then another teacher went to Ebony Parker and said, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but there are kids that are saying that John Doe, 6-year-old John Doe, has a gun. She ignored that. Then later in the day, just prior, literally a period before, one class period before the shooting took place, another teacher said, the kids say they saw the gun. And she said, well, we'll take care of it after school. And in the next school period, class period, he pulled out the gun and shot Abby Zwermer in the chest. And I mean, this could have easily been a fatal situation. And like I said at the top of the show, the mother is already in jail. She's serving 2 years for felony child neglect. That's a pretty good deal, actually. I think if you carelessly handle a weapon that your 6-year-old steals and uses on somebody, you should do 5 to 7 at least. She got a nice 2-year stint, so she's almost out of jail as they begin this trial for Ebony Parker, who is standing trial for 8 counts of child abuse, neglect, and There's a $40 million civil suit that's resting in the balance, and she's gonna win. Oh, she's gonna win. This girl, I'm not certain, but I think the bullet is still in her chest. But I know she's still having pulmonary issues. She had a collapsed lung initially, and she's still having issues with her chest. And think about how traumatic this must be for this young woman to be shot in a classroom by a 6-year-old. No, they should absolutely throw the book at Ebony Parker. And I'm surprised that she's the only one that they filed charges against. But it's going to be fun to watch this case. And as I talked about as well, Ray Mata Jr. and Graciela Bustamante are facing first-degree murder charges, aggravated mayhem, torture, and child abuse in the death of Genesis Mata. We had on Maria Bermudez and Lito Murillo, the leaders of DHS. And when Chris gets off the phone, I'll cue that up. But I was astonished by that interview. I truly was. Here is, can you do two things at one time? Here is Maria Bermudez. I asked her, what grade would you give DHS? Here's what Maria Bermudez had to say.
I'll say for my staff, they're an A. They are very passionate. They work 24 hours a day. They go through numerous training. Yes, it's a very difficult job with a lot of trauma themselves that they see. But I will say the staff, the social workers in Kern County, I would grade them as an A. And I will say, though, that there's always room for improvement.
Well, then it's not an A. Then it's not an A. If your son comes home with an A, are you going to tell him you got to try harder? You've got to work harder. We've got to do more homework because you're not getting it done. An A means it's great. And if Genesis Mata was the only murder in 2024, that'd be one too many. Or if it was the only abuse case that somehow, because remember, there was a case opened investigating Mata Jr. and Graciela. So something went horribly, horribly wrong. Here is the head of DHS, Lito Murillo.
Obviously, additional staff always helps. I don't begin to tell you that we're perfectly staffed or we're exactly where we need to be. Additional staff helps in every regard that we have in terms of operations here at the department.
Isn't it true a grand jury report pointed to staff shortages, limited funding, and delays in Child Protective Services responses?
That's correct. That is what the grand jury report indicated. And really what we've done over the last couple of years is fill vacancies to our best of our ability. I could honestly tell you that our vacancy rates were as high as 22%, and now they're as low as 10%, so literally half. And it fluctuates, obviously, but nevertheless, we've really done a good job trying to fill vacancies, and we're still continuing to fill vacancies. Additional staff, I would never turn that down, but that's something we have to do within the confines of our respective budget.
Then you haven't done a good job. You've done a better job. You've gone from 22 to 10%, but you haven't gotten it done. If you're still 10% down, and we're still having cases like Genesis Mata. And it's amazing to me that these people can pat themselves on the back in the wake of this girl's death, in the wake of this trial, where two people are being accused of first-degree murder, mayhem, aggravated assault, child abuse, and they can sit there and say that it's an A. And we brought it down, the vacancy problem from 22% to 10%, so that's okay. No, this is ridiculous. Then why are we paying, and we didn't even find out in the interview with those two, what we're paying this group from San Diego that's going to come up here and tell us how to protect our children. And you know that the Board of Supervisors are going to sign off on it. I said, what if they want millions? And he said, well, they don't want millions. Well, okay, what if they want hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars? Why are we paying these people who are making huge six-figure salaries if we have to go outside of Kern County and get somebody to tell us how to protect our own children? It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And everybody covers their ass like this. Well, let's bring in a consultant. Let's spend the taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars to tell us what we should be doing. But we're an A. We're an A. but I'm going to spend your money to improve the A? Give me a break. Quick time out. We're coming right back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington.
I gotta walk.
22-year-old man charged with killing Charlie Kirk can appear in court wearing street clothes, but must be physically restrained.
Thanks. Gotta walk.
Attorneys for Tyler Robinson said images
No golf
of him
this
shackled
weekend.
and in jail clothing would spread widely in a case of extensive media coverage. They argued it could prejudice future jurors. The NBA has started a review to protect the integrity of the game, players, and coaches following the arrest of Miami guard Terry Rozier and Portland coach Chauncey Billups. They were allegedly involved in gambling schemes. The league sent a memo to all teams highlighting the need to reassess sports betting regulations. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 337 points. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. A 23-year-old man from Lindsay has been arrested after reportedly getting a 13-year-old girl pregnant. The victim had her baby at the age of 14. It was reported to the Tulare County Sheriff's Office. The baby's father was identified as Gerardo Calea of Lindsay. Deputies spoke to both the teenage mother and Calea. Deputies say that Calea was in a relationship with the girl since she was between the age of 12 and 13. Plumbing problems ended up shutting down the county administrative center on Truxton Avenue. Facilities personnel worked to solve the issue. The building had to remain closed all day Friday. Business offices will resume normal business hours today. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I was always tired, sleepy, and had no energy.
I had relentless, debilitating headaches.
Valley fever has many faces and impacts people differently. If you have a lingering cough, fever, or painful breathing for more than 2 weeks, talk to your doctor.
I am Quan Louie.
I am Bryn Kerrigan.
And we are the faces of Valley Fever.
Visit kernpublichealth.com to learn more.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage California can count on.
Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Tuesday edition of the First Look program, the death of the penny. What businesses are rounding up and which ones are rounding down? We'll talk water with the best in the business. That'd be Lois Henry. And we'll back all of that up with news, traffic, and weather. It's all happening at 6 to 9 a.m. right here at 96.1 FM and streaming live on the internet at kernradio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Back to where I should have always stayed. And now I'm trying to make it to your story.
Say what?
Cassie Biddle has a message for you.
Which is?
They will be having the Dodger game on tonight in the restaurant with volume.
Wow.
As well as some specials as well, if you would like to come by.
I don't know if I can do it.
No?
Yeah, I don't know if I can do it. Because there'll be Toronto fans in there. We sat in the stockyard, took Aaron to check out the stockyard, and had a pretty good time. We were there pretty much by ourselves. I ran into Robbie Pratt and his crew, and like half of his half groomsmen. But yeah, I guess I could go in there and watch it. I I don't know. Maybe I'll go in like the 7th inning if we have a lead. Watch the last couple of innings. It's a must win. It really is. I don't want to go back to Canada. We have a chance to sweep them. We should definitely beat Scherzer. How old is Scherzer now? 43 years old or something? I mean, we should definitely beat this guy tonight. Come on. Was he effective in the playoffs, helping them get here?
Kind of, yeah. He had one really, really good game, but it was kind of run of the mill for the most part. And he is 41 at the moment.
And Tyler has been pitching well.
Oh, he's killing it right now.
Yeah,
His
absolutely.
ERA is under 1.
Is what is 0.86 or something like that?
6.8 or yeah.
Did you see Andy Paez got a hit?
Yep.
86. Mr. 0.86 got a base hit. That's the issue with the Dodgers. We're just so deep. You know, Shohei is doing nothing, and we're still winning. You know, Freddie is being Freddie. Mookie Betts hasn't done anything, although he's been spectacular defensively. He made a really nice play to his right that he made look really simple, where he slid into it, got up and threw him out. It wasn't even close. We're playing really, really solid defense. And, you know, I talk a lot of smack about Dave Roberts, but, you know, he's a pretty good manager. And of all the sports, like football is really not that difficult to coach, if you ask me. It's not rocket science. It really isn't. You know, most of these guys have played, they've seen playbooks, and it's football. It's about tackling and not making tackles, basically. But baseball is difficult. There are a lot of decisions. I think of all the coaching positions in sports, baseball is the most difficult because you have the most decisions to make. And that substitution, I forget the kid's name. What's the kid that's like has 2 at bats? The black kid, Jeremy Dean is no, the black kid. Hey Siri, show me the Dodgers roster real quick. Hey Siri, it's like Jeremy something.
I'm looking it up as well. Give me 1 second.
Hey Siri, show me the Dodger roster. And don't text, because by the time we get it, you're 2 minutes behind us.
I have Justin Dean.
Justin Dean. No, that's not his name.
Yeah, he's an African American outfielder.
Okay, then it's Justin Dean. and Roberts puts him in the 9th inning, and he makes a nice catch that I'm not sure Andy Paez makes. Do you see? You know what I'm talking about?
I think I know
the ball in the gap where he came in and slid and kind of backhanded it. Because I was like, he ain't gonna catch that. He ain't gonna catch that. Oh, nice catch, kid. I'm not sure Andy Paez makes that catch.
Well, it's like you said though. He's got wheels and
he's
a very good
fast.
fielder.
Yes.
So
yes.
I think that's why you keep him out there just in case one of these guys, especially like Teoscar, who has a history of not doing well defensively.
Oh, good Googling, Mowgli.
You could throw him out in center, throw Paez in right, which is a much better option regardless, and then you go from there.
Yeah, but you need Tails bat.
True.
You got to have Tails bat. I'm not sure. Shohei is going on tomorrow, correct?
I would think so, but at the same time, that's the question I posed on the show this morning is if you guys win, I would say yes, just because why not? But if you lose, I say go back to Blake.
No. This early? No, don't
Well, it's
panic.
a 3-man rotation, usually throughout the playoffs anyway.
You know what I'm predicting? I'm predicting this. If we win tonight and tomorrow, and Wednesday night,
Kershaw starts the last game?
No. I love the boy, but no. And it gets deep into the game and we're winning, and we need 6 outs to finish it and get a championship. Who would you bring in? Because I know who I would bring in.
You need 6 outs.
You need 6 outs to win the championship.
Well, at that point, I feel like it'd be Kershaw. But...
Yashinobu Yamamoto.
Oh, true.
I damn sure would bring him in. I damn sure would. No. And if he gets into trouble, then you bring in Roki.
True.
Or maybe vice versa.
But
I have him up and throwing.
Is there any update on Vesia if he's going to be rejoining?
Ooh.
I heard what happened, or I didn't hear what happened, but I have an idea of
that she lost the baby.
Yeah, that's the idea that everybody's thinking.
I had a buddy of mine who expressed what I initially expressed, and then I backed off of it because I think at the end of the day, family has to come first.
Yes, 100%.
But my buddy had the exact argument that I was going to go with. You have a responsibility to those other guys, and you've worked all season long, And Brett Favre played when his dad died. Doc Gooden played with his dad on his deathbed, and he was happy that he did it because his dad died the next day, and he threw a no-hitter for the Yankees. And his dad got to see him pitch one more time before he passed away. But I had to argue it with him. I was like, no, dude, you don't. I told him, as I always say on my show, and I've never experienced it, and apparently never will because I've never had a child. But to bury a child, no matter how old the child is the single worst thing that can happen to you. And you know what he threw in my face? Of all things he threw in my face? He said, I thought you were a Kennedy guy, Bailey. And I go, what the hell does that have to do with it? And he goes, you're the one that told me about Patrick, who is Kennedy's second son who died in August. He said, you think Kennedy stopped being the president? I was like, now, come on, Chad. Come on. Come on. He goes, well, how is it different? How is it different? He had a job to do. He had to mourn. He lost a child. This child was alive for 2 days. He goes, I'm not sure Vesia's child was even born. I think it was a stillborn. I'm like, oh, stop. You can't even categorize it. They buried their baby. They had that child for 9 months, and now it's gone. All the hoopla and the family and the grandparents getting all excited, and all of a sudden it's over with, it's done, and you expect this guy to pick up a glove? I told him, I said, I wouldn't want him to pitch.
No.
Because I don't think you can, how the hell do you, I almost cursed. How the hell do you concentrate at trying to win a championship when your wife, she going to come to Toronto with him? Or she's going to come to the ballpark today? No, because I almost went with that. That you have a responsibility. You've hung with these guys for what, 8 months?
Yeah.
7 months you've been with these guys. They've depended on you. And I was like, no, family always comes first.
And it's more than just mourning a child, too. We're talking about being there and supporting your wife who has just lost the child and was bearing this child for a couple months.
And that's where I got buried as well, because I used to argue back in the day when I first got into radio, Phil Mickelson's wife was pregnant. And he was going to the U.S. Open, and she was due any minute. And Phil said, I don't care if I have a tap in on the 72nd hole. If she beeps me, so how long ago it was, I'm leaving. And I was like, that's crazy. That's nutsy cuckoo. Because I know for a fact, us old folks, our daddies weren't anywhere near catching the baby and being in the same room. Back in the day, throughout the 60s and I think even the early 70s, the fathers were in a waiting room. You were not allowed in the operating room. And I always argued that it's not important. Does anybody remember whether their daddy was in the room with it? Do you know if your father was in the room when you were born?
I have no clue.
No clue. But your father was there for your Little League games, and he was there to take you to practice, and he was there to get you into college. That's being a father. Not necessarily being there. And then the phones exploded. Exclusively women saying, Ralph Bailey, you big fat knucklehead. It's not about being there for the baby. It's about being there for the woman that's going through this. That's why they call it labor, Bailey. And you want her to go through that by yourself? And I'm like, yeah, if I'm on the 72nd hole about to win the U.S. Open, baby, I'm going to be there for the next 30 years with these babies. But yeah, and I just got pelted. Every woman was just like, you're the biggest idiot. That's why you ain't got no kids. That's why you ain't married. You ain't never going to be married with that attitude. And they were right. But I feel for Alex Vesia, and it's too bad that because we definitely need him. We definitely need another left-handed arm in that bullpen. I don't know who we go to. I am so afraid because Tyler's going to have to go at least 8.
Yep.
Did you hear what Dave Roberts said?
No.
That he would have let Yoshi go another 20, 30 pitches.
That doesn't surprise me.
I don't know if I buy that. You think he would have let him go 130 pitches? Because he threw 104, 105?
He's done it before, I think.
He's done it. Oh, yeah, he did it routinely in Japan. Routinely.
And at this point, you're hot. You're ready to go. I'd say just ride with it. And plus, he knows the limitations of the relief pitchers. So you're playing with fire, taking him out and putting anybody else in anyway.
They only got up Roki. behind Yoshi Saturday
all
night.
you need.
Yeah, because there's nobody else I trust going
Because
on.
that's the ideal thing right now for the Dodgers is for the starter to go 7-8 innings and Roki to come in and just shut the
And
door.
just shut it
That's
down.
all you want.
Shut
I
it
don't
down.
care who it is.
Yeah.
Keep Sheehan off. Keep
Oh,
Cleveland off.
did I not say that?
Yeah.
Did I not say Sheehan was going to be the guy that he had to be that middle connector?
Yep.
Because what did Blake go out in the 4th and the 5th?
Yep.
And Sheehan came in and he just had to hold the fort till we could get to the 7th, and he couldn't do it.
No, keep him off the mound. Keep Trinan off the mound. Keep all these guys. Like it's terrible. At any
I don't
point in
think you
time.
can. I don't think you can.
And that's the worrisome part.
We're going to let Shohei go 7 or 8? We're going to let Shohei throw 100 pitches? He's got the whole damn offseason because he's not going to pitch again.
No.
Even if it goes 7, Shohei's not going to pitch again this season unless you bring him in as a reliever. So I think you got to let both these guys. I think you got to let Tyler go 100, 110. You got to let Shohei go 100, 110. And the key is that's what was so brilliant about Yoshi's performance. He threw 23 pitches in the first inning, and I was like, this thing is over. He is never going to get to the 5th or 6th inning. And then I think he had 4 innings where he pitched single digits. He had single-digit pitches in either 3 or 4 innings for the rest of the game, where one inning he had 8 pitches, when he had 6, when he had 3, and then what was it, in the 8th when he struck out the side?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a beautiful performance.
49 Larry has chimed in with his prediction.
I don't even want to hear it. Let's go to break. I don't even want to hear it. He's already said we're going to lose.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm comfortable.
He says that you're going to lose tonight, but if you don't lose tonight, you definitely lose tomorrow.
I don't even know why you gave him airtime. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Larry. I appreciate that. That's good news. It's good news for all Dodger fans that Mr. Wrong is predicting the Blue Jays. He's a bigger mush than I am. Are you kidding me? Kathy Abernet is going to join us at the top of the hour. We'll check the board when we come back. Got some miscellaneous audio that I'm going to play. I still can't figure out. All I wrote down was Phil. It's not Mickelson.
I was just thinking in my head.
It's not Jackson.
Phil.
Who the hell could that be?
Of the future? No.
Phil. Yeah, that's what it says.
Huh.
I have no idea what we'll find out.
Yeah, when you play
I'll
your
go on
audio.
we'll find out. Phil. Anybody got any guesses? Here, I'll look it up. I'll tell you what it is. Anybody want to guess?
Let's see if we have any text messages. I don't think we do right now. No.
What of it?
Guess. Phil. Who the heck would be
Derek.
Phil?
The guy that got accosted, Schwarzenegger, CK, JFK,
Phil.
renovation. Oh, Phil Sadler,
Oh.
my college roommate. Phil Daddy, the dentist. He's got a commercial that I wanted to play. My college roommate at Morehouse College is a DDS up in Oakland, and he's got a commercial, and I just thought I'd play it. I don't know why. We're coming right back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. Kathy Abernathy at the top of the hour. We'll check the board, see what y'all are talking about. If I have time, play some of this audio. Coach Kessler says Phil Dumatrait.
You lost me on that one, Coach.
Yeah, he totally. Dumatrait. Dumatrait?
Never heard of Bill Bear.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Coach. Phil Dumatrait. Is that a joke? Is there a joke in there? I don't know. Quick break. Coming right back. It's TRBS on a Monday, right here on News Talk 96.1, and we're streaming live at currentradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 11.
Bakersfield kid. He's pitching in the MLB.
Tuesday edition, Clay.
There's nothing on the board?
No, I'm sorry. Sorry. No, I meant like there's no guesses.
Oh.
No, we have text messages. I just didn't have any. It's actually Phil McCreevis, the first one that popped in.
Phil McCreevis.
MCCREIS.
He said Dumatrait pitches in the MLB. He's a Bakersfield kid. Never heard of him.
Never heard of him either. I wonder who he plays for.
I'll ask him.
Because really the only one that I know of that obviously plays for somebody is Cy Young winner. Brewers, Orioles.
Benson?
What was his name?
Benson?
No. The kid from here, the pitcher. You don't remember the name of the pitcher? The one that was the ace for the Orioles, and he won the Cy Young and
with the Orioles.
Yeah, and you remember you were saying you wanted him to sign with the Dodgers last year when he was a free agent. Why am I drawing about? Hold on.
Not Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns?
Yeah, Corbin. Yeah.
He's in Arizona, right?
Yeah, he's in Arizona now. Yeah.
Weren't we trying to get his wife on for something?
I think so, because she's one of the Terrio family. She's one of the Terrio physical therapy people. So I can't remember what she's with right now, but I think you're right. I think
she had something going on we were going to talk about.
Client and friend of Paul Sheldon. I've known Paul for many, many years, and my parents happened to be his first clients. So, of course, I called Paul and immediately felt this peace come over me, knowing that I didn't have to freak out about making a big decision. His knowledge about Medicare and your health insurance needs are beyond compare, and I was taken care of immediately by his wonderful staff. He knew everything that I needed and what I wouldn't need, so I was pretty much in and out of there in record time. If you're getting to that age or you're going to be needing to know about Medicare, then he's the one to call. He will totally help you out and get you pointed in the right direction. You're going to leave there feeling a great accomplishment and no concerns. And even if you have questions later, his staff can help you out. Those feelings are just priceless to me. So call Paul. You'll be glad you did.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
The annual enrollment period for Medicare is here. That means that it is time for you to select your Medicare plan for 2026. This annual enrollment period, choose a name you already trust. Select Kern Family Healthcare Medicare, DSNP, a new option for people who have both Medicare and Medi-Cal. For over 29 years, Kern Family Healthcare has been a trusted name in Medi-Cal. Now, we're here to support your Medicare journey too. Call 1-866-661-3767. Again, that's 1-866-661-3767. Or visit www.kernfamilyhealthcare.com/Medicare to learn more and enroll. Start your Medicare journey with local care you trust. Choose Kern Family Healthcare. Kern Family Healthcare Medicare is an HMO DSNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the California Medicaid program. Enrollment in Kern Family Healthcare Medicare HMO DSNP depends on contract renewal.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to The Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Roxanne! Eight 842-537-6842 KERN. What do you got? You know my Fore magazine came this month? Fore? F-O-R-E. It's a golf magazine.
Yeah.
Do you know how much a brand new set of irons cost?
$400.
Let's say drivers literally cost $400. The putter that I'm using was $320. I certainly didn't pay that. Thank you, Paul Guerra. But a set of Callaway irons, $1,600.
Oh,
$1,600
the most
for a set.
expensive hobby on the planet.
An Opus wedge, a 60-degree Opus wedge, either by TaylorMade or by Callaway, is $200. The wedge. I'm gonna be using these clubs till I die. I got a great deal on them by the late Don Hudspeth, who sold me those clubs. Great guy that we met at our golf tournament, which is coming up in March. Don't forget that. 842-537-6842 KERN. What do you got?
Ralph, you have to love Zoran Mondani's message and how it's affordability. The middle class can't even buy a home anymore, and how he talks about Cuomo living in the Hudson Yards in his $20,000 apartment. Zoran is saying New York is not for sale.
Well, he's trying to sell it, and it's not going to work, and he's becoming the face of the party. Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader, begrudgingly over the weekend finally endorsed him because he, like Chuck Schumer, is being bit at by the heels by the progressive, uber liberal part of the wing of the party that is about to take over the party, because Mamdani's going to win. They could not have picked two poorer candidates in Eric Adams, and who's dropped out, and Governor Cuomo, who, like we talk about whenever we talk about Governor Cuomo, many New Yorkers believe that he killed their parents or their grandparents because of the nursing home scandal, and had 13 sexual abuse charges against him, and just a god awful human being and a god awful governor. And then you got Curtis Sliwa, who is the Greg Tatum of New York. He runs every single year and doesn't win. And Greg Tatum's a nice man, and I should stop using him as the poster child of the guy that runs all the time. But he does. He runs all the time, and he doesn't really win. But he's a really nice man and a really great pastor and lives at a really nice church. But that's Curtis Sliwa, and he's proudly with his beret on still from the 20th century. He was Guardian Angels, and that became really popular. Is still running, and polls indicate, because New York is one of those states where voting began Saturday all the way up till next Tuesday. And according to the numbers, the turnout is gargantuan. Yeah, he's lit up New York. He's lit up 21 to 35-year-old young people who can't afford New York. And he's telling them, I'm going to give you everything. I'm going to freeze rent. I'm going to produce a government-controlled grocery stores in all the 5 boroughs. I'm going to, make busing free. You're going to run around on the buses for free, which is a really, great ideas, right? But the problem with socialism, which theoretically is a good idea, somebody's got to pay the bill at the end of the day. And again, that's going to be New Yorkers and the business folks who own complexes and who now can't raise the rent in a city where rent is gargantuan. They're going to sell and get the hell out and go to Florida or go to Texas or go to states where there is no state sales tax, because he's talking about not only city tax, improving that from 40% to 45%. You really think those business people are just going to eat it and they're not going to run out of state and claim that Florida is their main residence? Yeah, he's going to win. There's no question. Even if Curtis Sliwa got out, the numbers indicate that Mamdani would still win, and I'm all happy about it. I am all excited about it. I hope AOC becomes a larger voice in the Democratic Party. I hope that the Democrat Party. I hope that Mamdani becomes a hero. They're all backing him. Good. If the Democratic Party wants to be known as a socialist-leaning party, go right ahead. That gives us a shot in the midterms, and it certainly gives J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio a chance in 28. Although later in the program, we're going to be talking about Steve Bannon's comments that has set liberals' heads exploding. And I just think it's Trump trying to live. We talk about being inside somebody's head, being in their kitchen, making flapjacks and eggs and bacon. I think that's all that it is. Although Bannon's talking about a third alternative, and I think that's going to be through the courts. But I think they're relying on the 6-3 majority to come through for Trump in the end, and I just don't think that's possible. I think it would be a 9-0 decision, because they're going to try what they're going to try to do. You've either got to get 2/3 of the states to change the Constitution, which isn't going to happen, or you need a supermajority in Congress, which isn't going to happen. I think what they're going to try to do is parse the wording of the Constitution and use the non-consecutive terms as a loophole. But I don't see the courts upholding that. And I think if it did, that's what they're relying on, that it gets to the 6-3 majority. But I think it'd be 9-0. I just can't see it. But we'll talk about that, and you'll hear from Steve Bannon on some of the ideas that he has. And Trump just keeps poking the bear with the Trump 28 hats that he sent to Gavin Newsom. Come on, that's classic. Kathy Abernathy joins us next.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERN.
Hello, hello, hello. Come on in. Take off your skin and rattle around in your bones.
I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Democrats and Republicans continue to trade blame over the government shutdown, the second longest funding lapse in history at 27 days.
While notices of rising health insurance premiums are landing in voters' mailboxes, sending some to town halls to vent their frustration as they face losing their health care coverage due to skyrocketing premiums as subsidies expire, Republicans are doubling down on their efforts to oppose the Affordable Care Act. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
You know that it is subsidizing bad policy.
Democrats say that expired tax credits that kept costs lower should be extended and are refusing to reopen the government until they are. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
As Category 5 Hurricane Melissa barrels into Jamaica, National Hurricane Center specialist Larry Kelly says everyone in the island nation needs to be hunkered down now.
We move into the evening and overnight hours. The core of the system is forecast to pass over the island, with destructive winds, especially in the mountainous terrain. We're talking, extensive infrastructural damage and long-lasting power outages, communication, and then not to mention the life-threatening storm surge that's going to happen along the coast. So, just a devastating impact forecast for Jamaica overnight tonight.
The storm is not expected to affect the United States. A Utah judge has ruled that the 22-year-old man charged with killing Charlie Kirk can appear in court wearing street clothes, but must be physically restrained due to security concerns. Attorneys for Tyler Robinson said images of him shackled and in jail clothing would spread widely in a case with extensive media coverage. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 337 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life
There's our girl,
story from Trinity Debt Management.
Bamberger.
My debt problem started probably about 2016. I needed my life to
I
change
just don't think that
financially. I called Trinity
Winnie's a very good
and I
candidate,
ended up joining based on high credit card bills and high interest rate. And my counselor at Trinity has been great.
And I watched
Trinity
the
has
final
been
debate.
helping me to get on the right path.
She just
paying
looks
off these
desperate. She
credit
wouldn't let
card bills,
Spanberger
bringing
finish.
down the interest
And
rate.
and the
They have
problem was
consolidated my
Spanberger
bills
was
into
killing herself.
one low
She was
monthly
like,
payment.
she wouldn't answer. And
now
even the
I am
reporters,
finally getting
one
out
reporter
of
asked her
credit
3
card debt.
times
So I just want
about,
to say
it
thank
was
you,
either about
Trinity, folks, for
transgenderism
the,
or
better and
Jay
greater
Jones.
path.
I can't
If
remember
you're in
which.
debt and you need help,
But
call
she would
Trinity
just
at
do the Kamala Harris. And the reporter,
My name is Sharon.
giving
and
some credit,
soon I will
kept
be
saying, that's
debt-free
fine,
for keeps.
but could you answer the question?
1-800-990-6976.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. According to newly released court documents, 3 adoptive children were horribly abused by a couple in Edwards. On October 14th, 34-year-old Matthew James and
Yeah, I
his
don't
wife,
think she's gonna win.
35-year-old Brittany James, were arrested. 3 victims were identified. Deputies reportedly called to West
Yeah,
Moron
okay.
Elementary. Court documents say the child was hit by his adoptive father, strangled by the shirt collar, and spanked with
I didn't know
belts
she's
and
an
wires.
ex-CIA
The
agent.
older children described
I
being
didn't know
punched,
that.
kicked, and hit
And the
with
chick
metal
up in
wires.
New Jersey
One child even
is
attempted
a
suicide.
former
Matthew and Brittany
helicopter
James
pilot
were arrested. They'll be
in the
back
Navy.
in court on October
The
30th for
Micah,
bail review.
yeah, the
The
Micah.
Department of Justice plans to monitor polling sites in
I know.
California and New Jersey for the November
But he's
4th
not gonna
election.
win either, is he?
According to the DOJ Civil Rights Division, they want transparency, ballot security, and compliance with federal
And then
election
Donnie's going to
laws.
walk away from it.
California
I
polling
didn't know
sites
New
in
York. I
Kern
just
County
found
will
out
be
New York
monitored,
votes
as well
early.
as those in
This started
Riverside,
Saturday.
Fresno, Orange, and Los Angeles counties. The Kern County Sheriff's Office is on the lookout for a man wanted on multiple weapons charges after he
In
allegedly
Virginia.
showed deputies
Yeah,
a gun in
2 weeks
Rosamond.
ago.
Christopher Carson allegedly disregarded their orders and displayed a Glock-style handgun while leaving the scene.
No way.
A pedestrian has died after a hit-and-run crash in Oildale. That crash was reported just after 8:45 Sunday night on
Yeah.
Airport Drive near Roberts Lane. It was a Halloween
50
celebration
cents.
at the Baco
50
Market
cents.
Friday evening. Families
Did you see
took
this?
their kids out for some spooktacular fun outside Dignity Health Arena.
Did he? He
Events are
posted on
usually held
Facebook?
on Saturday. This time, the market held a special tent or treat night for kids to dress in costumes and do some trick-or-treating with vendors. There was music and a lot of food options
Lily's
from
a really
different
cute girl.
vendors. I'm Bill Robbins in the
Her mom is
KERN
gorgeous.
newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1
Biggest
and
screw up
AM
of his
1180 KERN.
What do you think? This is the army where you shoot them a mile
They have
away?
been talking about
You
his
gotta get
health.
close
It's
like
a pretty
this.
good
Don't
article.
think
I mean,
you
it's
blow their
like,
brains all over your nice
it's
side
like
leaf
8
suit.
inches. Yeah,
It's
it's
the
just right
Ralph
there.
Bailey Show on
He
News
talks-
Talk 96.1 and AM 1180
Huh?
KERN.
Now make sure
Yeah,
you keep the house
yeah.
when you make
She's
the call.
the
You
man
understand me?
together.
You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Oh, yeah. Are
Call
you
in or
kidding?
text to 661-842 KERN. That's 661.
She was hanging around here a couple of weeks ago, and I was wondering what the
Listen
hell she
live
was
at
doing.
KERNradio.com.
Because she works right over here, right across the street.
Now,
Yeah.
the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Monday, 27th day of October. And as I told you guys, I've been summoned. I'm in a farther group back, which Chris Burdick head exploded when he found out because I blew it off. I forgot about it the first time. So this is I had to call back, and my group number is 86, and they've called 1 through 20 today. So I have to call back at 6:30 and find out whether I'm going to be here tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. I can't lie. I would love to have been called. You know why, don't you?
Oh yeah, because you would have been home for the Dodger game.
I'd have been home by 4:55, right in front of my television, getting ready for the Dodger game.
Of course.
Because what time is court end? 4:30?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah. And I told you I've been on a jury before. I was the foreman of the jury of a DUI case. It was a crazy case where the guy got all drunk and was fighting with his wife, tried to do the right thing, left the house, saw a police officer. This is what a numbskull he was. Saw a police officer giving a ticket, parked his car, and went to talk to the police officer about what he should do. I'm in a fight with my wife. I don't know what to do. And the issue for us was the cop never saw him drive the car. Can you presume, even though all the facts indicate that clearly he was in Delano and he drove like 15 miles, could you, and we abandoned around for like 15, 20 minutes. It's like, of course, we had no choice but to find him guilty. But I always kind of felt bad for the guy. He was trying to do the right thing. And he gets out of his car with smelling like vodka or bourbon or whatever and goes and talks to a cop. Like, what are you, stupid? Yes. It is a Monday, however. Kathy's looking for adventure. Professor Kathy Abernathy. How are you, Professor?
I'm here. I'm fine.
Coming down a little something?
I'm coming out of a little something.
I staved it off. I called Cothry early enough. He sent me some antibiotics because I had the scratchy throat. And that Sunday where I told you I didn't eat anything last Sunday, and somehow I staved it off.
Really?
I'm really happy about
Get a
that.
hold of him.
Exactly. Love my doctor.
I've heard good things about him.
Oh, he's
Really
the
good.
best. He's the best. He's impossible to see
Yeah,
unless you know him. It literally will take you like 3 months to see him.
that's my daughter's trying, because since she's been back, she's trying to get a local doctor. And so a couple of friends recommended him, and she's been on 3 months, I think, till she meets with him.
What's wrong?
I needed to get a little closer to the microphone.
Oh, yeah.
Not close enough?
Not close enough.
Sorry.
We need to
Yeah.
give her some headsets. We got to get another headset in here so she can hear you. All the guests can hear you. But anyway, and she tried to go to him and she was like, he's available January of 27.
I think she called in June, and she's got a November appointment.
Are you serious?
I didn't know. I should know. He's been on your show. I should have thought about that.
Yeah, I could have hooked that up. I could have
Yeah.
got you in.
Ralph Bailey. There's the guy. You
Yeah.
can't see a doctor. Call Ralph Bailey.
I can get you
Dr.
in.
Bailey.
I could have got you in by September, at least. What are we talking about this afternoon?
Boy, there's a lot. Well, number one is Proposition 50.
Doesn't
And
look good, Kathy.
my appeal to everyone to vote no. This is such a power grab in California. And regardless of our great governor saying on the actual ballot, the name of it is in blah, 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 redraw districts in response to Texas.
Yeah.
Well, as I say in my ballot recommendations for those of you that received them, let's do some other things in response to Texas, like no income
state taxes. Yeah.
like their sales tax is cheaper than ours, even though they don't have income tax. Their sales tax is cheaper than ours. Register a car there is $80. My 6-year-old car is $300 and some. Everything.
300 something in registration?
Yes. I've got
That's
Mark's truck. It's
crazy.
25 years old. It's still 200. You know how much money they've made? Multiply 25 times that for a truck that old.
Yeah.
Because in the old days, if you recall, it used to be when your car got to be older, it dropped
Right.
to like $60 a year. No, it's ridiculous. So there's a lot of things he could do in response to Texas besides steal 4 or 5 more California Congress members who got elected, just sworn in, not even a year ago, and he's trying to bounce them out. So the system was better actually. The commission, the legislature, this legislature with this governor, what they do is not a good plan, regardless. If anyone wants to read up about this California Redistricting Commission, the criteria for drawing seats is a joke, so they can do anything they want.
Yeah, but every week you come in here and bag on what we have, but isn't it better than what we have?
Well, it's 4 more seats than what we have, but I want to remind anyone listening that 40 to 45% of any Republican with no name, just an R after their name, running statewide gets 40 to 45% of the vote. But when they draw districts, for some reason, we only have 17%. Why? Because they're playing with the commission plays with the rules too. But
that's what I was bagging on you about when you thought I was bagging on you about Measure N. Remember that when you texted
yeah,
me, you were
sorry,
like,
yeah,
I didn't say that about Measure N. I was like, what is she talking about?
Right, Measure N, that's a whole nother
That's a
story.
whole,
I'd be glad to
no
share some.
kidding. That's a half-hour show right there.
And different groups now are starting to figure out, well, let's get signatures for their nonprofit to raise money to get on the ballot to take another piece of the sales tax and increase it by 1/8 to 1/4%, which is real money. You buy a car, it's $300 more than you would have paid. Using our sales tax as a way to pay for whatever you want around here, I disagree with that. It's high enough. But so Prop 50 asking for a no vote because it is drawn to remove, and I don't care what Texas or other states did. That's not that we should do it, particularly when it's already a gerrymander. 53 congressional seats, 52 congressional seats, and we have 17%, which is 9 seats.
And all this will impact the midterms.
Right.
When does it go into effect?
But it goes into effect if you want to run for Congress. The deadline in California is March 15th. And so there's a scramble now. These incumbents in Sacramento who drew these for themselves, they're moving in to run in those seats. And so it'll be next November that we'll be voting on less Republican incumbents and no chance likely in those other seats. So
what will David Valdeo's district look like?
Well, it moved him into more of West Fresno County. It didn't go as well for Trump as other seats, but I think he'll be okay.
What about Vince?
Vince is, they fatten up what few Republican areas, so they
pack it in his district.
They just pack it. So that's why there's going to be 4 or 5 left. That's it. But their districts are drawn to pull in. Santa Monica's 3 seats. Here in Bakersfield Country Club's in 2 different congressional seats.
Yeah, he told me that.
That's just
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's just to be cute with stuff. But
it's their 75th anniversary.
Of what? Bakersfield College. Yeah.
Bakersfield Country Club.
Oh, the country club.
Oh, you meant the college.
Yeah. No, I meant the country club. I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's their 75th anniversary.
Wow.
Just
playing golf way back then. Wow.
Yeah. Just thought I'd mention that.
So, but then I heard our illustrious governor on some interview that he just did with some radio.
Up in Smoke. He was on a podcast with a couple of NBA players. He is really expanding. And did you see the interview where he's just cussing at every other sentence?
I didn't hear that.
He's effing this and this S and this BS and this effing. I'm like, who does he think he's appealing to?
Governor of a state as big as a country.
Yeah.
He can't handle himself. But what I heard, the excerpt was how poor he grew up.
Yes. That's
And-
making rounds.
Wow,
How he
that is so
portrayed him
bad.
as a latchkey kid. Okay, you can be a latchkey kid and still be wealthy because his daddy was an attorney for the Getty people. Am I right?
That's right. And he,
I mean, that takes balls to grow up in that kind of wealth where you're 25 years old and you and your partner start a winery. I
and his
mean,
partner is Getty. because-
yeah,
And the Getty.
that, I mean,
And even though his father had divorced the mother when he was very young, I understand all that. But the Gettys kind of, took him in lifestyle-wise because this Newsom's father's family had taken in the Getty guy when he had nothing.
and which side of the family is connected to Pelosi?
It's through
Is it his
marriage.
mom or
so
the?
It's like Pelosi's sister is married to his mother's something or other.
Okay.
Yeah, but okay.
So he didn't want for anything.
No, and he went to Santa Clara University, private
yeah.
Catholic. And I looked up tuition, which it looks like back then it was about 14,000, which in today's tuition there it's 60 some thousand.
Change, but yeah,
80,000.
but back
Private
then-
Catholic school, and he spent 1 year abroad in Rome. Okay, come on, how do you do that? And then he was there on a partial baseball scholarship. I didn't have any of that, and my dad didn't do anything that, even if he was a bad guy, later by 30, Willie Brown appointed him to be head of the parking department in San Francisco.
Right.
That probably paid sweet. He marries that Kimberly
Guilfoyle.
yeah, and I don't think she married any poor guy. Right?
No.
And then
No,
he,
she's no.
yeah, she's
gonna quote a
don't know
song,
that.
but I can't go there.
And then he joined with Getty to have a string of these restaurants, wineries. Jack
When he was
Plum.
25 years old.
Yeah, yeah. He had all that. Married her when he was 34. He was mayor at 37. He was lieutenant governor at 42. What a storybook life. And he's trying to equate to poor people, in particular.
Sitting there with two hosts, two brothers who did grow up poor. And he made some comment about how he'd come home and watch television and had Wonder Bread and make cheese sandwiches. And Steven Jackson, shame on you, was like, damn, that sounds like me. And I'm like, brother, you have no idea how this brother, I mean, he came home to his 4-bedroom home in the middle of the afternoon and made cheese sandwiches. Okay.
So
All right.
you see, these guys, particularly Democrats, want to play a game with a level of voter that they think they should stay committed to. And I just hope voters of lower income, no matter what color skin, it's not that, it's that, think a minute about this. You don't get this far in life if you had such a horrible childhood. And by the way, not only was his father the lawyer for Getty, but he delivered the money when Getty's son was kidnapped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I
That's
didn't
how
know
much
that.
they trusted Gavin Newsom's father. So I don't know. How much more do we get of a phony politician? I think he's the ultimate. In this
He
state.
really
I
is.
don't. Jerry Brown. I'd take Jerry Brown tomorrow.
At least Jerry Brown was honest.
Yeah.
He really was. He was straightforward. He probably said too much, but he was honest.
Yeah, I
he was a
mean,
decent guy.
His worst thing was he signed unionization of government employees in
Yeah.
75, and since then our budget's just gone up like that. But when the legislature passed something 10 years ago that you had to, if you want to run for president in California, you have to show your taxes. And Jerry Brown vetoed that because it's stupid. You can't change the rule. What did Newsom do when they passed the same thing 2 years ago? He signed it. Of course, it was ruled out. You can't do that.
All right.
But that's the kind of the games that they're playing with us. So, and this ridiculous expense, being that the Democrats have insisted we're mailing since COVID, everybody gets at-home ballot, a live ballot. You know how much sample ballot, live ballot, all the papers, a lot of money.
Well, we should be rooting for him. We should absolutely be rooting for him because I think either Marco Rubio or JD Vance would eat him alive. You start with high-speed rail. Walk us through that. How that's working out for you out there.
Exactly.
You talk about the fires. You just talk about his record. That's all. He's got a horrendous record as governor. He has a horrendous record as mayor. I've told the story constantly. I was at the last game for Bruce Bochy, a San Francisco manager of the Giants. Last game of the season and last game of his career with the Giants. And they had a bunch of San Francisco big shots come up on the big Megatron deal and speak. And all these different people came and spoke. And I think he was the mayor at the time. And when Gavin Newsom came up, Giant fans booed. I mean, absolutely booed. He does not have a good record in the Bay. He does not have a good record in the state. And I just like I'm rooting for Mamdani, I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
Please be the nominee.
He's so far left. I mean, he
Yes.
probably makes communists look. It probably gives a bad name to communists.
Well, that's where the party is going, clearly.
Yeah.
Do you hear Hakeem Jeffries has supported Mamdani now
Came
over the
out,
weekend?
Yeah, and then was it the governor of New York? She was somewhere
Hugo?
where they were chanting, and she said she didn't hear what they were chanting, but some ridiculous thing, and she's doing this. Which, well, I couldn't understand what they were saying.
I know. What were they chanting?
I was trying to
forgot.
remember. I just heard it. It wasn't they were chanting because she didn't endorse Mamdani, right?
I think she has. I think she
Well,
has.
she showed up at that rally, but she said it was I don't know what other rally she'd have right now, but
Yeah. And did you hear Kamala kind of drop the message that she might be running? There's another one that I pray runs.
yeah.
Pray that she runs.
Plus, would you have advised her to write a book that there's 107 days, whatever it was, and as somebody, well, I don't know if it was JR, who was it, him today, that I heard saying good points, about you were vice president. What would you have done if Biden dropped dead the next day? You'd have to run the country. And now you're saying you had 107 days and the Democratic nomination. And so that's
And $1 billion.
Yeah. And $1 billion.
And Hollywood, every celebrity that came out of the woodwork.
Right.
And she writes a book, and I still haven't read it. I need to because I'm going to get her book and Corinne Jean-Pierre's, which is going to be fun to read.
So much quotable material.
Yeah, where she just blames everyone but herself. It's remarkable.
Yeah.
And then she went on The View last week, and they didn't even ask her about Biden's decline.
No.
They never asked her about it.
Press secretary is in with the president at least 70% of the day. That's just particularly for her
Every
to say
single
that.
day.
Yes.
And their first question was about Carolyn Levitt, about her trolling a reporter. A reporter asked her, who picked Budapest for the Putin summit? And she said, your mother. Come on, a good yo mama joke is always good.
That's right.
And that was their first question to Corinne Jean-Pierre. Oh, that's reprehensible. I would never have done that to a reporter. You got to respect the press. Blah, blah, blah. Really, that's your first question to a woman who left the Democratic Party and who witnessed, like you say, was by his side every single day. And your first question isn't, what did you see and when did you see it? And how come George Clooney said he didn't recognize him? And she continues. She's got like a stock answer. She's got the Kamala answer because I've seen her on different shows that do ask that tough question. And she's like, I didn't see it. I was with him every day. He was sharp. I mean, she's sticking to her message.
And the rest of us never saw him. And when we did, we knew he'd lost it.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
Anything he was on, oh my goodness, when he'd walk, stiff-legged, the
Yeah.
wrong way when he finished. And, that's all orchestrated in advance. They probably even wrote steps. Every world leaders, he turned off that time and walked away from all of them when they were posing for a picture.
And they tried to play that off that he was talking to one of the
To the gardeners
parachutists
or something.
No, one of the parachutists. They had parachutists that came down, and they were in the background, and he just kind of wandered off to them. And they're like, he was going to talk to the parachutist. No, he wasn't.
That is so bad that this country went through that, and they're getting away with it because most of the media, other than Fox, just won't go there. But it's so serious, and certainly it makes our presidency look weak around the world. Trump is, of course, doing the opposite. He's just 24/7, and he was flying to China, wherever he's going.
Malaysia,
it's like, you watch him, and
Japan.
I don't know when he sleeps. They say maybe 4 hours.
Did you see him get off the plane in Malaysia?
And start.
And he started doing the Trump with the. I mean, I love this guy. I thought that was hilarious.
Every button, and he drives them nuts. But I appreciate that he's being what they would call radical, but somebody has to go after this system. It can't just keep getting more and more huge, more and more payouts. And what little Republicans are trying to do right now, which is to say, if you're healthy, male between 22 and 50, and you don't have a child at home under 14, how about working instead of getting free food stamps and free health care from another poor schmuck who is working and paying taxes? That's all. And that would help those people so much rather than be sitting home with benefits, is to get a job. Any job will move them up. So
even Clinton endorsed that when he put out in the
work
new
for welfare
legislation.
Yeah, he signed that when the Republicans controlled the House. There was actually cooperation then with a Democrat president, Republican House and Senate. So we'll have to see if we get that caliber. But you're right. If we get either Vance or both, the Vance Rubio ticket is interesting too. I think.
You think Rubio will be vice president
versus not be vice president?
Yeah, I'm not sure he wants to be second in command.
Well, I think he's young enough that he could run, and then he could run
again in 32 or 36.
Yeah. Vance is young, and I'm not sure if he's. I might like it the other way, but I don't know if he'd want to run twice.
No.
On the second on the.
No,
ticket,
we've never had that, have we?
Well, that's not illegal.
A third term vice president. You know what I'm saying? Like a vice president serve. Well, this would just be one term, but we've never had a vice president be vice president 2 different administrations.
Well, right now it's only one, so it'd be that. But if
but
you don't become president, why not?
I just don't think historically we've ever seen that.
Well, I don't know if historically we haven't, but I don't think it's against the law. It's against the law for Trump, but it's not against the law for someone to be vice president twice and you never assumed it, presidency. But I guess there's some rumor that Trump was trying to spread that.
I'm gonna talk about that as soon as you leave. I got some Steve Bannon audio.
That guy's crazy, man.
You can't do it one of the two ways. You can't do it by changing the Constitution. There's no way. 2/3 of the states, supermajority in Congress. But like I teased, and what I'm going to talk about in a second after you leave is, I think they're going to try to parse the wordage in the Constitution and try to make a big deal out of the separate terms. You see what I'm saying?
Well, we used to vote separately for these guys. Now they're just one vote.
Right.
So it's the president, vice president. But if you didn't assume the presidency. Oh, he did assume the presidency, right? So how can he can't be vice president because he could never assume the presidency.
No.
So there's no point in being vice president.
But I think somehow in the courts they're going to try to say, since he did not serve consecutive terms, he's eligible for a third term. I think that's their only avenue. What other way can you do it?
Yeah, I think it's just a tease thing he's doing.
Bannon believes it.
Well, he's another piece of work.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. You know what I was thinking though? Let's say it gets to the courts and it's 6-3 in the Supreme Court that he can run again. Do you know who the Democrats would run? I'm making you head of the
Obama?
Damn Skippy. And wouldn't that be interesting? Because I hate to say this, I'm going to lose about 50 listeners in about 5 seconds. Obama would smack him around.
He would do a good job, but he wouldn't beat him. I don't think he'd beat him. I don't think so. Get that face on YouTube.
I think he would smack him around. There's not a Democrat on this planet that wouldn't vote for Barack Obama again. Not a Democrat on this planet. Think about it. And your boy can't get 50%. I think it'd be 55-45.
All right.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
Well, that would
have George Bush be your vice president. Because Bush hates him just as much as anybody. Obama, Bush.
Obama, Bush. Yeah.
Obama, Bush administration. Wouldn't that be funny?
Unfortunately, I wish those Bushes would straighten up a little bit. We all came together for them, even though we supported other candidates while they were running before they got the nomination. They should stick together.
Yeah.
I'm very, very upset. Even though he said low energy Jeb Bush, it was true.
You have no idea, because I was the guy screaming, it's going to be Jeb. Because I think, and I still do, he's the smartest one in the family. I thought he was the best governor. He was a better governor than his brother. He was a better politician than his dad. But I remember the first debate, I was and then by the end of the night, I was like, oh my God, Jeb. He just made him look like a schoolboy. Trump made him look like a 6th grader.
Was that the August debate?
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
We were all, Mark and I were for Jeb Bush. And then when Trump answered her question, when she said, you called women big fat pigs, he said, no, just Rosie O'Donnell. We said, okay, this guy knows how to give it back.
Yeah.
And that's what you need.
And then he called Jeb a dummy.
I thought he said low energy.
Yeah, it was not good. And I love Jeb Bush. I really do. What's he doing?
Yeah, you don't hear about him at all.
I know. He just kind of disappeared.
Nobody's doing. I don't know if he's in education, maybe at a university, or maybe you don't hear about him at all.
No, you really don't.
We hardly hear about George W. either. But
so you don't think Trump even tries in 28?
I think he'll just tease people with it, but I don't think he'll try.
Yeah.
And he's going to be what? Will he be 83?
He's 82 now, so
Oh,
yeah,
he's already 82.
I think he is. Yeah, isn't he the oldest living president? Pretty sure. I'll check
Yeah.
and report after the break. Kathy Abernathy, everybody. Thank you, Kathy.
Thanks, Ralph.
Quick time out. We will talk about Trump in 28. You'll hear from Steve Bannon on his theory on how they're going to work this out. We'll do that next. And we'll hear from Abby Zwermer, the school teacher shot by a 6-year-old. Her trial began today, a $40 million civil suit. That's all coming up. Don't go anywhere. I think he set in motion enough in court where he's going to get a shot. And if he gets shot down, he goes away.
With us on the news, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Israel's foreign minister
I think the
says
justices
his
would
government
vote
will not
9-0.
allow Turkish troops to take
I
part
just
in the
don't see
future
them. I
international
do.
peace force in Gaza. The United States has
against
proposed creating a force to oversee
Against
the ceasefire agreement in
But
the
who knows?
Israel-Hamas
You
war.
never know.
Israel's foreign
You just
minister
never
Gideon
know.
Saar said Monday
All right, Kathy.
that Israel
Thank you. See you
opposes
next week.
Turkey's
What is this all
participation
about?
because of President Erdogan's
Where?
hostility to Israel.
Oh,
A
you're going
Utah
down there?
judge ruled a
Nice.
22-year-old man charged with killing Charlie Kirk
Well, why don't you
in
come on
appearing in
Wednesday and
court
talk
wearing
about it?
street clothes
All right.
must be physically
we're not Wednesday,
restrained due to
just,
security concerns. Attorneys for Tyler Robinson said images of him shackled
cool.
and in
Thank
jail
you.
clothing would spread widely in a case with extensive media coverage. On Wall Street, the Dow by
Yeah, it's not the
337
30th
points. This is
Buena
SRN
Vista
News.
Museum.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. According to newly released court documents, 3 adoptive children were horribly abused by a couple in Edwards. On October 14th, 34-year-old Matthew James and his wife, 35-year-old Brittany James, were arrested. 3 victims were identified. Deputies reportedly called to West Boron Elementary. Court documents say the child was hit by his adoptive father, strangled by the shirt collar, and spanked with belts and wires. One of the older children described being punched, kicked, and hit with metal wires, and one child even attempted suicide. A pedestrian has died after a hit-and-run crash in Oildale. It was reported just after 8:45 Sunday night on Airport Drive near Roberts Lane. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-399-7272. 800-399-7272. Again, that's 800-399-7272. You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage California can count on.
On the next Armstrong and Getty show, the homeless industrial complex making billions and billions of dollars out of a high cost of good intentions. Big scandal out of LA we need to tell you about.
Trump's on the other side of the world, and you really can't overstate what a big deal this whole trade deal with China is when they get to the final numbers, what that could do to the markets. We'll have the details next Armstrong and Getty show.
Weekdays.
You think they could beat us twice in Toronto?
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Armstrong and Getty
So
Show.
you think we have to sweep to win?
On News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. How can you see what you're doing to me when you don't believe a word I'm saying? 842-537-6842 KERN. Let's check the board real quick. You haven't done that yet, have we?
We did a little bit.
What else you got?
Let's see. Well, I already voted yes because of Trump, but I do agree with Abernathy. Lower the sales tax, lower the income tax, and lower the car tax. If she runs on that, she could be the next governor.
Oh, God dang it.
Porter?
Yes. And the fact that Steve Hilton is leading in the most recent Emerson poll. I forgot to talk about that with Kathy. Did I even write that down?
No, I write it down because if we ever back on Wednesday, you can ask her then.
Oh, that's right. We are going to have her back on Wednesday. What did she just tell us she's going to? She just told us minutes
I'm not
ago.
going to lie to you. I hoped you were paying attention.
I can't remember.
Kathy, please text him.
Well, she's not. I guess she is listening.
She's probably listening.
Yeah, Kathy, we forgot what you told us you're going to. Tell us again so we can preview it because neither one of us can remember.
We just don't want to misspeak. You never know.
Exactly.
You could say the wrong thing.
Because I think I remember, but I don't want to guess because I just read another invitation. I don't want to get them mixed up. But Kathy's going to be with us again on Wednesday. I'll ask her about that. I forgot to do that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, in a recent Emerson poll, I think we talked about this on Friday or Thursday, Katie Porter obviously has plummeted, although she's still in second place, but she was the front runner for the gubernatorial race coming up next November. And now Steve Hilton, the British commentator and strategist for the Republican Party, is now in the lead. Katie Porter is second. Chad Bianco, the Riverside sheriff, is in third. And really after that, nobody's really polling. You know, Elena Kardakis got out. Tony Thurmond got out. Tony Atkins got out. It's just Antonio Villaraigosa and hang on, I think I wrote it down. It's Villaraigosa and a couple other candidates that are polling in single digits. And the big, I think, 500-pound gorilla in the race is United States Senator Alex Padilla. And as Kathy mentioned, he's got till March to make up his mind. I suspect sometime after the holidays, he'll announce he has to get in. He'd be an idiot not to get in. Seeing Steve Hilton leading the way, because if you're a Democrat, you've got to believe if I run against a Republican, if I can do the Adam Schiff where he propped up Steve Garvey and undercut Katie Porter and got her out of the general election, because again, it used to be, for those who are new voters or just now getting engaged, it used to be a Democrat versus a Republican, the highest voting Democrat against the highest voted Republican, and they would face off in the general. Now it's the two top vote getters, regardless of party. And what Democrats have been doing, Schiff started it. I don't think anybody did it before, but they're propping up the biggest Republican challenger so as to have a Democrat-Republican general election. And in a one-party state, you could fart throughout your whole campaign and win just on sheer numbers. But I think this is different because the level of candidates are horrendous. Katie Porter, we're not even in the zip code of the campaign already, and she self-imploded. Her character reared its ugly head. She's a horrible human being based on what we know, screaming at her staff, get out of my shot. When one of her staffers, she was doing a podcast with, I think, or just a phone thing with FaceTiming with somebody with the Biden administration, and she said something that was incorrect. And one of her staffers came in to tighten her up, and she sees her in the shot and curses at her and blah, 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 blah. And then after that, people started looking for stuff. We played you the audio where she basically eviscerated Riley Gaines and saying that her effort to gain equality and get men out of women's locker rooms and out of the pools and off volleyball courts was all about her getting likes and clicks. and that she speaks for herself. She doesn't speak for the women. It was on the Bill Maher show, as a matter of fact, and thankfully, Piers Morgan was on, and he was like, what are you talking about? I think she's speaking for every woman who doesn't want to go into a locker room with a biological male, or every woman that doesn't want to be playing volleyball and get spiked in the face by a biological man, like that famous young lady who I don't have her name, but who is still suffering from trauma from getting spiked in the face by a man who's 6'1", 210 pounds. And that's how we win in the primary, or I should say the midterms. And that's how we could possibly win not only the midterms, which is unheard of, because as most of you probably know, a first-term president, and essentially, in terms of history, Trump is a first-term president, even though he served before, not in consecutive, always loses the midterms. The only president in recent history to win the midterms in his first or early part of a new administration was George Walker Bush, and that was post 9/11, when Bush's approval rating was like 147%, as he's the only one to pull it off in the most recent years. And I think them being completely out of step, electing a communist essentially to run the biggest economic city in the world, New York, AOC becoming a major factor in Congress and part of the Democratic Party. Remember, the Democrat approval rating is at like 21% at its lowest ever. There's a great clip, and I might play this when I get into some miscellaneous audio, of Chuck Schumer talking about Trump's approval rating and how low it is. And literally in the same answer, a reporter asks him, well, Mr. Schumer, isn't it true that the Democrat Party has the lowest approval rating in the history of the party? Well, we don't really look at polls, and they don't really matter. But weren't you just talking about Trump's poll numbers? Which, I think with him in Asia and them about to cut a deal with Xi, I think his approval rating is about to go out of the roof. If we can emerge out of this tariff battle and get some decent deals with India and with Vietnam and with Xi and China, I think his approval rating is going to go out the roof. I really do. What else you got? One more.
Both Trump and Newsom grew up in the 1% world. They actually are more alike than different, and I wouldn't vote for either.
Well, I don't know about that. I think Trump worked for most of his money, whether you like what he did or not. And Gavin Newsom was handed just about everything he ever had. When he was 25 years old, investing in a winery with his pals. I mean, he wasn't this latchkey. It's called Up, isn't it? Up in Smoke.
All the
Barnes,
smoke.
All in Smoke.
All the smoke.
All the Smoke with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. There are a couple of NBA players that, as Chris said, it began as exclusively an NBA thing, and it still mostly is.
Kind of, yeah.
The classic was Vernon Maxwell. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny. They ask him, "Is it true?" And I shouldn't even go into it because I can't say the words that Vernon uses. But they asked him, "Is it true?" Because he played with Akeem.
Yeah.
That Akeem once slapped the crap out of you. And he goes, "How the hell y'all get all this information?" Yeah, that man put his hands on me. He said, "I used to spit when I get mad." And we had a horrible half. I had like 4 points on 8 shots. And we were walking in the locker room. I was spitting everywhere. And I think it was Brian Shaw, he said, came up to him and tried to calm him down. And finally he said, Akeem tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Maxie, cut that out. That is not professional." And he turned to him and said, "Shut the F up, Akeem. I'm tired of your crap too." And he said, that man drew his arm back, way back to Mississippi, and smacked the crap out of me. Slapped me right across my hand. I thought he rubbed his hand on the ground on some dirt and then hit me. It was so hard. And they were like, "What'd you do?" I said, "I went crazy, but I didn't go after Akeem. I'm not stupid." But I started throwing chairs and acting fool. It's really funny. Well, this is the podcast that Newsom went on. And what they're doing is stealing a page out of Trump's book, out of his playbook, and going to different venues to get different audiences, different demographics, because Jackson and Barnes, it's like going on the Breakfast Club, who I'm sure he will do if he hasn't already. But that's a whole different genre that Newsom can't find. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to go into the black neighborhoods. Not really. You know, he's going to go into the affluent areas of Los Angeles, but he ain't going to Jordan Downs. He ain't going to South Central. He's not going to talk and if they do, you know what they do. You know what Democrats do when they go into the black community? They go to a black church. That's how they do it. Well, the black churches aren't quite as significant and as powerful as they once were as we become a more secular society. But that's 20th century politics. And now the avenue is a letter? Oh, from Mark Sandoval. Is that what you got up for? Well, thank you, Mark. Let's see what that's about. Let's go ahead and take a break, and we come back. I've got some audio that I want you to hear. You'll hear from Abby Zwermer. Again, her $40 million trial is underway. Actually, it's the criminal trial against Ebony Parker, the principal who allowed, essentially, the 6-year-old to shoot the Virginia teacher in the chest after Parker ignored numerous warnings. And we'll also hear from Steve Bannon before we get out of here on his efforts to extend Donald Trump past 2027. Get into that. Got some miscellaneous audio to get to. You'll hear from my college roommate, Phil Sadler, DDS extraordinaire in the city of Oakland. No idea why I'm going to play it, but I am. Some of it includes past renovations of the White House, just to illustrate the hypocrisy of the Democrats. $300 million for the ballroom that Democrats are already talking about wrecking if they win in 28. Wait till you hear what Barack Obama spent on changing the White House. You'll also hear from John Fitzgerald Kennedy. This is just random audio that I found that I just want to play to explain just why I admired this guy growing up so much and why at the age of 12, I believe I told my mother I was going to be John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr.'s press secretary at the age of 12. Could have been true if he just hadn't gotten in that damn plane. Could have been true. You never know. And I've got some other stuff we'll get into. And of course, we are minutes away from first pitch, game 3. Almost a must win. Chris thinks that we have to sweep to win the championship. We won in New York. We can go up. We can win 2 out of 3, go back to Canada 3-2, and split in Toronto again and win another World's Championship. I'm not worried about that because I don't think we're going to sweep them. That's why I keep yelling 2-3-2 is not fair. It should be 2-2-1-1-1, but the production company, Fox, is not going to allow that. They're not going to traipse their production company all across the country one night after the other. It's not going to happen that way. So you got to live with 2-3-2. Quick time out. More of the Ralph Bailey Show right here on Newstalk 96.1. And we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's the JR Show. So check back clip Andre Gonzalez was asking, why are we upset that Dolores Huerta gets the money when we weren't upset that any other business gets the money? Well, Dolores Huerta is the only business in town that has gone out and actively campaigned for Prop 50 or any other political thing. That's why we're upset about it. You can't give money from a city to a political organization disguised as a nonprofit.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
When your business technology breaks down, you need help fast, and you need it from the people who understand your local market. That's one of the main reasons we've teamed up with Adaptive Networks, because we have a unique business, because when our IT goes down, you hear nothing, dead air, and we're dead. Adaptive Networks isn't some faceless call center in another state. They're right here in our community. with local technicians who know Kern County businesses inside and out. And while other IT companies make you wait hours or even days for support, we just can't afford that. Adaptive Networks delivers lightning fast response times. We're talking minutes, not hours, because when your systems are down, every minute counts. Their team doesn't just fix your problem quickly. They treat you like the neighbor you are. Real people, real solutions, real results. Call Adaptive Networks today, 661-241-0638, or visit adaptive Hey, let's put it on Fox already. Adaptive Networks, your local IT experts. Let's put it on Fox already. Here when you need them.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card. Not at the gas pump.
Oh, we got a high-speed chase.
Or the roof of
Chris.
the car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile,
Oh!
it's card lock.
Oh, shit!
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone and
Oh, my God.
that's peace of mind from Chase.
Oh, he dead.
Available for select mobile devices. Message and
He
data
dead
rate
as a
applies.
doornail.
Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
It's a classic
you see
fairy
that?
tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up with the smell.
Oh, why did they show it
in
live
the
then?
house? And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're
But I mean,
on
why did they
their
repeat it
way.
live?
And then
He dead.
he sprayed Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts
Did he
working
die?
instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you
Y'all
have
saw
to
it
worry
live?
about is Pam cheating at charades.
Holy Toledo.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time
Where's the
highs,
thing?
Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt.
Here if he
Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program may only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan.
Cassie called
This is a
because it
relief
took, like,
program that credit card
15
companies
minutes
would
to
rather
get the
you
game.
not
He
know
called
about,
and
as it
stopped
could
it.
end your debt nightmare and save you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost
She
of
had to
living
do all kind of
skyrockets.
thing. I
Debt
think she had to
Relief
even pay
Advocates has
for it, which
established
is
a
even
relief
weirder.
hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for. So don't wait. For this free information, call 800-422-8552. 800-422-8552. That's 800-422-8552. Not available in all states. Must qualify for enrollment. Results may
Pretty good
vary.
filet, though.
Travis and Buck Sexton
With
Show.
mushrooms and
Live
onions
9
on
to
top.
noon. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
My only son, listen closely to what I say.
So how many times have I talked about, what do they call that game that we used to play at parties when we were children, when we would get in a big circle and a parent would tell the first kid a sentence and he would pass it to the next kid and to the next kid, and then the final kid had to say out loud what the sentence was. And if the sentence was, a man died in a horrific motorcycle accident on the 405, by the time it got around, it was a guy at a motorcycle jumped across the Snake River and died, or something like that. You know what I mean? And that is radio. And I'll give you a great example of it. And I love me some Mark Sandel, our veteran and honor flight guy. But listen to what he says. It's Mark Sandel from Honor Flight, missing in action, remembered, former board member for Armed Forces Support Foundation, member of AZ Foundation Incorporated, and former assistant football coach for your beloved Garces Memorial High School Rams. I'm writing you because I heard on your show that you are saddled with prostate cancer. Now, that's news to me, and that's news to Hemel Cothery, and it just goes to show you the nature of radio. I thought every time that I've talked about my situation, I've been crystal clear. What happened was I had a blood test, as I am wont to do, and my PSA number, which determines prostate cancer, jumped from 1.8 to 3.7. Again, anything under 4 is considered okay, but you can still have cancer beneath 4.0. In fact, we had to correct Bob Price, who did a piece on prostate cancer and said that he was below 4.0, so he's good. And I was like, that ain't true. You're more than likely good, Bob, but you can be 2.5 and still have prostate cancer, as I have learned through this process. My doctor, Emil Cothery, said, I believe it's an infection, Ralph, because it's not the number, it's the fact that it jumped in such a short period of time. In like 2 years, it jumped from a 1.8 to a 3.7. Something caused that, whether it's cancer or an infection. It's the reason that I sit on this thing every day, because he told me to sit on one of those things. Although I'm curious about that, because don't most of you all with white collar jobs sit on your bum for like 8 hours or 7 hours a day? I just sit on this thing for 3. But nevertheless, so he put me on antibiotics, and I took another blood test, and I triumphantly, pleasantly surprised that it went back down to a 2.5. Now, I'm not completely out of the water. I'm going to take another blood test in about 2 months, and I'll see Dr. Cothery, but I do not, to the best of my knowledge, have prostate cancer. But Mark, I love the love, and he's given me some cures, some homeopathic cures in this letter that he sent me here. But isn't that amazing? That he said, I heard you are saddled with prostate cancer. I hope it's just crazy the messages that are sent and what people hear, because I've never, ever, ever said that I had prostate cancer. And let's pray that I don't. And I don't think that I do. I think it was an infection, because there's no other real explanation for my number to jump back from 3.7 to 2.5. And again, as I try to, whenever I talk about my own personal medical situation, you've got to go see a physician. In fact, that's what JR's article is all about in Kern County Family Magazine. He talks about getting serious about his health once that he had Lily, his now 9-year-old daughter. And in fact, I'll give you a quote from Mr. Flores, where he says, not only as I've gotten older, but since I've had my daughter, I realize I need to be healthy for not only myself now, but for her. You don't realize how out of shape you are until you are chasing after a kid. That's pretty funny. And they even quoted Lily in this. I love my dad and want him to see me grow up. He's the best dad and plays with me and studies homework with me. I try to make him eat healthy and drink less soda. I want my dad to live for a long time and be healthy. And it goes on. It's a great article if you guys see this on Kern County Family Magazine by our good friend who works right across the street. But no, Mark, I do not have prostate cancer, or at least to the best of my knowledge, I don't have prostate cancer. My PSA jumped back from 3.7 to a 2.5 on the antibiotics, which should be evidence that it's an infection and not cancer. But again, I'm not out of the woods. We're going to find out in about a month and a half, 2 months. I want to take the other blood tests and we re-examine. But it's the nature of radio, I guess. It's crazy. There's at no time that I say I have prostate cancer. I said that if you're below 4.0, you can, as I learned.
I wonder if he heard the walnut guy when he had called in.
And said that you could still have it under 4.0.
Maybe I'd heard that part and assumed.
I just think it's radio, because it's just the nature of media. Because I cannot tell you how many people have come up to me and told me that they're praying for me because I have what was I a part of? The campaign I was a part of.
Oh, Valley Fever.
Valley Fever. So many people. I was part of a campaign that was, they called it the faces, the health department called it the faces of Valley Fever. And in fact, they're still running. I think they've got David Torres and
Bryn Kerrigan.
Bryn Kerrigan, and I think an 11-year-old from Highland High School, or maybe she's older than 11. She's going to Highland High School, obviously. And some other folks that are on television. But I was on one of the billboards. I was on the front page of the paper talking about my experience with Valley Fever, which was at least 20 years ago. who was I was dating Monica and I was seeing Lori. So it was about 15, 17, 20 years ago. And people keep coming up to me, I'm sorry about your valley fever prognosis. And I'm like, no, I'm part of forget it. So I do not have valley fever, nor, to the best of my knowledge, do I have prostate cancer. But we will definitively find out in a couple of months. My PSA is at 2.5, which for a man of my advanced years is pretty damn good. Final hour of the broadcast, and it's time for Dodger baseball.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
I guess I should go
Dallas
see
from
Cassie.
Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington.
If Aaron didn't live on the other side of town,
House
I'd hit her
Speaker
up.
Mike Johnson is doubling down on the need for better policy for health care as the government shutdown continues.
If you look at it objectively, you know that it is
Oh, yeah,
subsidizing
nice house.
bad policy. We're throwing good money at a
She's
bad,
just going
broken
through
system.
some-
And so it needs real
some
reform.
difficult times.
The reason it was never appropriate or never possible to be resolved on a simple CR, stopgap funding measure, is because it's very complicated to fix. But Republicans have a long list of ideas.
It's been 27 days since the government shutdown began. There's been no sign of movement from either Democrats or Republicans. Two strong quakes in the Atlantic Ocean rattle the Eastern Caribbean.
A 6.5 magnitude earthquake struck in open waters of the Atlantic Ocean and was felt throughout the Eastern Caribbean. The quake occurred about 100 miles east of Guadalupe at a depth of 6 miles. The earthquake felt on islands including Antigua and as far as St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Shortly afterward, a magnitude 6.0 aftershock struck in the same area. I'm Julie Walker.
The 22-year-old Utah man charged with killing Charlie Kirk can appear in court wearing street clothes, but must be physically restrained due to security concerns, according to a judge ruling. Attorneys for Tyler Robinson argued images of him shackled and in jail clothing would spread widely in a case with extensive press coverage and public interest, which they said could prejudice future jurors. Judge Tony Graff agreed to make some allowances to protect Robinson's presumption of innocence before a trial. On Wall Street, the Dow by 337 points, the Nasdaq rose 432. More at townhall.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
Every day I speak with people who are worried and are feeling a lot of pressure because of credit card debt. That's why I'm very proud of what we do at Trinity. We just help. We give people the support they need, along with a real plan to become debt-free. Credit card bills are consolidated into a single monthly payment that is much less than what they were paying before. Most of our members end up saving thousands and even may improve their credit scores by as much as 200 points. I know from the bottom of my heart that I'm making a difference in the lives of the people we help. It just makes me really happy.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Julie, and I'm a Trinity counselor. Call me and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. According to newly released court documents, 3 adoptive
Need you,
children
boy.
were
Need you
horribly
big.
abused
Need
by
you
a couple in
big.
Edwards. On October 14th, 34-year-old Matthew James and his wife, 35-year-old Brittany James, were arrested.
Yeah.
3 victims were identified. Deputies reportedly
I know,
called
and
to
they're
West
used to him.
Huron
That
Elementary.
sucks.
Court documents say the child was hit by his adoptive father, strangled by the shirt collar, and spanked with belts and wires. One of the older children described being punched, kicked, and hit with metal wires. One child even attempted suicide. Matthew and Brittany James were arrested. They'll be back in court on October 30th for a bail review. The Department of Justice plans to monitor polling sites in California and New Jersey for the November 4th election. According to the DOJ Civil Rights Division, they want transparency, ballot security, and compliance with federal election laws. In California, polling sites in Kern County will be monitored, as well as those in Riverside, Fresno, Orange, and Los Angeles counties. The Kern County Sheriff's
Did
Office.
you see when they
is on
did
the
that
lookout for a
cancer
man wanted
thing
on multiple
Saturday?
weapons charges after he allegedly showed deputies a gun in Rosemont.
They like stopped the game,
Carson
and everybody
allegedly
stood up for
disregarded their
cancer.
orders and
And everybody
displayed a
had
Glock
somebody
style
they were
handgun
standing up
while he
for.
was seen.
And I mean, everybody in the
Pedestrian has
stadium, the
died after a
players,
hit
the
and run
umpires,
crash in Oildale.
everybody
The
in the
crash was
stadium
reported
stood
just
up.
after
And this
8:45
took like
Sunday
5 or
night
6
on
minutes.
Airport
And then
Drive
they
near
had
Roberts Lane. It
those
was
brothers.
a Halloween
Who were the brothers?
celebration at the Bayco
White boy
Market
band.
Friday evening. Families took
Jonah
their kids
Brothers?
out for some spooktacular
Yes.
fun outside
Had them like
Dignity
perform
Health
for like
Arena.
a couple of minutes.
Events are usually
And I'm
held on
like,
Saturday. This
you know,
time the market
Yoshi's
called a
getting
special
freaking cold, man. What
treat
the hell's
night
going
for
on?
kids to
And
dress
I
in
felt bad
costume
because I'm like
and do some
screaming at them for
trick-or-treating
doing
with
something for
vendors.
cancer. But I'm
There's
like,
music and a lot
in the
of food
middle of a
options
World
from
Series,
different vendors.
it
I'm
took
Bill
like
Robbins
6,
in the
7 minutes.
KPRN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1.
But that was before the
and
game.
1180
This was right in the
KRN.
middle of the freaking game, where they just stopped the game for like 6, 7 minutes.
You gotta get up close like this. But a bing, you blow their brains all over your
Like
nice size
4th,
face.
5th.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show. On
Yeah,
News
no,
Talk
it was
96.1 and AM 1180.
Oh, sorry.
KERN.
It's already. What is that?
You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842 KERN.
Of course.
That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the broadcast on this Monday, 27th day of October. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. Coming up in about an hour, I'll find out whether I have jury duty or not. I'm in the far group. Burdick is still shaking his head because I blew it off. I didn't blow it off. You know, I got chastised by several people because I forgot about my jury duty. They're like, oh, you're horrible. You're civic duty. And blah. I'm like, shut up. Shut up. I didn't intentionally blow it off. I've been on a jury before and enjoyed it. I don't mind doing my civic, although this is only the second time I've ever been called. And I talked to you and JR and a lot of people, and everybody says they get called all the time.
Yeah, I usually get called at least once or every 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been called twice in the 33 years.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. I've been here 33 years. That is frightening. I could have never guessed that in a million years.
My entire lifespan.
I would have. First of all, I never thought I'd be here more than 5 or 6 years. And then even when I got on television, I thought, I'm going to do this for about 3 or 4 years and I'm going to go to LA. And then I realized the difficulty of it. And then I just started hating it. And I was like, I ain't doing this. And then I never ever sent out a tape, which goes to show you how stupid I am. Did it for 6 years, never sent out a tape. I got 4 job offers, one in Lincoln, Nebraska. I went there and I was like, absolutely not. There were 2 places when I got off the plane, I was like, absolutely not. Jacksonville, Florida, I was like, absolutely not. And the station was in a ghetto. I was like, absolutely freaking not. But I took their money, worked for 3 days, and I went to Lincoln, Nebraska, absolutely not. And I went to Tyler, Texas, which I almost did because they wanted me to be the 5 o'clock anchor, the daily anchor, the Monday through Friday anchor, and then be the live guy at 6 and 11. And that's what I was really good at. I thought I was a horrible anchor. I could read, but I couldn't do the And now here's Todd Carley. You know, I was really bad at that. Although Todd and I had great rapport because we were good friends. Todd at the time was the weekend sports guy before he became a main anchor and then became the main anchor and news director at Channel 23. And I was like, the sports guy? So you telling me I could have been the news director? Because I don't just as much about journalism as Carly, but he became a big anchor. You know what I'm gonna say, don't you? Complexion for the protection. Sports guy. I was the weekend anchor, and the sports guy becomes the main anchor. But I was a weekend anchor. Complexion for the protection. But it's time for Dodger baseball. We're just minutes away from first pitch. Tyler Glasnow taking the bump, and he's been pitching lights out. And we need at minimum 7 innings. at minimum. Because there's no mid connection.
No.
Sheehan can't do it. Vessia is not available. He's had a tragedy in his family. Why do I keep forgetting our left-hander's name? Anthony, what is it? Bonda? Bonda. And Blake Trinan. I'm telling you, Sasaki's got to go 2 innings tonight. He's got to do the 8th and the 9th. And if it comes down to Wednesday and we're going for a championship and we got a 2-run lead with 6 outs to go, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. That's what I would do. That might be crazy. Because, I mean, how many pitches is he going to throw? 15, 30, 45? That's fine. He can still come back 2 days later and pitch after throwing 40. He throw more pitches on a workout day. But I'm just saying. Who you got?
Mr. Sandal's on the line.
Mark Sandal, what's really going on, my brother?
Hello, my friend. What's cooking, babe?
Well, I appreciate you looking out for me, but the good news is I do not have prostate cancer.
Well, that's what happens when you don't get the whole broadcast in one sitting session. So I must have heard a little bit of snippets from other people, and I apologize. I want to say I texted you guys in the text line. I said I want to apologize for that because I don't want to put scare in your eyes of your fans. So.
Well, I read that and I was like, what? I got prostate cancer? What? So did somebody tell you that, or did you just mishear from the show?
No, I heard the word prostate cancer from somebody, but it must have been talking about a possibility or from somebody else that maybe have had it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, there's and I still, like I've told the audience, my PSA jumped from 1.8 to 3.7, got on the antibiotics. Now it's jumped back to 2.5, but Dr. Cothry is still saying, let's just be careful. Let's take another blood test and re-examine in 3 months. So I'm not completely out of the water, but let's hope and pray. But I appreciate some of your suggestions. And if I do, in fact, have prostate cancer, I might take a look at some of your homeopathic remedies.
Hey, can I make a shameless plug here, Ralph?
No. Of course you can, my brother. What's the matter with you?
Hey, November 8th at Coconut Joe's Banquet Hall.
Yes.
We're having a huge celebration of the United States Marine Corps' 250th birthday, and it's a Saturday. And we're surprising. I don't know if I think he's a listener, so I can't. We're surprising somebody that has something to do with Coconut Joe's, and we're going to have a little presentation. Plus, we have 2 speakers. We have a cake cutting, biscuits and gravy that represents the old SOS breakfast, which I can't say on the air what it actually is. I think you know what that is. So it's starting at 0900, and it goes to 11 o'clock on Saturday, November 8th at Coconut Joe's Banquet Hall, 4000 Easton Drive.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll get you on that week, and we can let you talk about it a little bit more.
We'll be more than happy to do that. Thank you.
All right, cool. Chris will give you a call. We've got your number, don't we? We have Mark's number. Yeah, Chris will give you a call that Monday, and we'll schedule for Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of that week.
Will do.
All right, man. Always good to hear from you, and thanks for caring.
Keep up the good work, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thanks for looking out for a brother. I really appreciate it.
Always, my brother, always.
All right, take care, man.
Okay. All right, you bet.
That's Mark Sandal. And I didn't read his whole letter. He said some really nice things in here. First, let me congratulate you on a heck of a run hosting your very successful show all of these years. Your love for our local veterans is evident. You're huge fundraisers. By the way, we're about to have a hard number. We're guessing what, $33,000, which is, one of our poorer years, but it's still 11 grand an hour. And we thank you so much. But evident, you're a huge fundraiser. Most successful peeps, when they reach celebrity status, doesn't not get involved in their respective communities. However, you are the exception. So from a grateful citizen, thank you. That's really sweet of him. It really was. Maybe sweet isn't quite the word I should have used, but very kind of him. 842-537-6842 KERN. Now I don't even have time to get into my topic, so let's read a couple of text messages.
Hey, Ralph.
Yes.
A lot of Hispanic relatives and I voted Republican, but now we're done with the Republican Party. The country under Trump is so divided. What advice can you give to my family to stay positive on the Republican Party? Thank you.
that your only alternative is the Democratic Party. And I know that for me, at least, ever since I've left the Democratic Party, it's been kind of the lesser of two evils. I was not a gargantuan fan of George Walker Bush, but I was not going to vote for Al Gore. I wasn't an Obama fan, although I am an Obama fan as a man. I like Barack Obama. I think he handled himself well. I think he's going to be forever known as the Jackie Robinson of politics. And as a guy that faced incredible odds, I think he handled it well. I just didn't like his policies. You know, I think Obamacare has been an absolute disaster, an absolute disaster. And it's the Democrats that put a sunset in his subsidies, the ACA, the Affordable Care Act subsidies that are about to expire. And if something's not done within like a week, this shutdown is going to shut down those subsidies. And I think they should be extended. I am not with the Republican Party on this. And I don't think there's any way in the world. I think there's going to be an 11th hour settlement on the shutdown, because I don't think there's any way in the world. I don't think Republicans want that on their resume, that they were in part responsible for those tax subsidies to expire, because a lot of middle-class people's health insurance is going to skyrocket. And that's why the Democrats are holding out, because they want that on the doorstep of the Republican Party. They think that, along with the big, beautiful bill, will get people like David Valadao, who again has a constituency of 67% on Medicaid. And I think they think that that's their avenue of victory. But the only advice that I can give you is, as Tyler Glasnow gets out of the top of the first, 1, 2, 3, and a very small amount of pitches. So that is a good thing as we come up to bat. Shohei Ohtani obviously leading off. But I would just be patient. Don't give up on the party quite yet. As I have made clear, I'm not the biggest Donald Trump fan. I'm really not. But I agree with a lot of things that he's done and is doing. He shut down the border. He's going after Venezuelan drug dealers, which I think is a positive. The idea that Democrats put forward that these guys in speedboats 12 miles off the coast of Venezuela are fishermen, like, really? Because the fishermen that I know, and I do know a lot of fishermen. I'm not a fisherman. I used to be as a kid. We used to go out to the pier out in the marina and catch fish. I told the story where I caught biggest fish I ever caught. I caught a halibut, and just off a bridge where we literally had to pull the line up. Like, I couldn't reel in this halibut. It was so big.
Do you remember how much it weighed?
That's the problem. And out of nowhere, whatever they call it, the warden or whatever they call the fish and game guy, happened to cross the bridge, because there was like a crowd that like helped me pull the line up, and we pulled this damn big ass halibut. And my man pulled out a ruler, and I think what does it have to be, like 21 or 22 inches? And mine was like 20, and he made me throw it back. And I swear to God, it's a true story. I had just gotten turned on to halibut. My mother, I'll never forget this. We went to a restaurant in Marina Del Rey, and I tried some of my mother's halibut, and I was like, wow. So I was all excited. I was going to bring home this fat halibut. And the guy was like, can't. Do you believe that? It took me 20 minutes to land this fish. Have you ever seen a halibut? No uglier fish than a halibut.
Dorado's pretty ugly.
Never seen a Dorado.
Never seen a Dorado?
Never seen a Dorado.
But
I caught a halibut.
Horn kind of looking thing.
They're flat on the bottom and white as a shark because they lay on the bottom, and all their features are on one side of their body, like both their eyes are on this side of their body and along with their mouth, and just the ugliest, nastiest. And it was a big old fat, and that son of a gun made me throw that son of a gun back. I was so unhappy. But my point is, most of the fishermen that I know don't have speedboats, A, and B, they have some sort of tarp because they're out there for hours, and you bake. in a speedboat? Come on. So all I would say to answer your question finally, as Shohei pops out, foul, just a strike. Be patient with the party. Be patient with the president and see how it evolves. See how these special elections evolve and see what they're trying to do with the redistricting and Newsom. Again, Shohei Ohtani opens up with a double. Here we go. Man in scoring position with nobody out. And here comes Mookie. Just inside the foul line, down the right field line. Mookie. Let's go, Dodgers. Quick timeout. We'll continue to read some of your text messages. Get to the hour. I got to play some audio from Steve Bannon, who says there is a plan to extend the Trump presidency into 1932. 1932, the year that Franklin Roosevelt was elected, Ralph? Attaboy. 2032. 2032. Isn't that funny that I would allude to Franklin Roosevelt when talking about extending Trump's presidency? For as you all know, Franklin Roosevelt was elected in 32, 36, 40, and 44, and died in May of 1945. And there was some even controversy after that because I don't think, 47, that the 22nd Amendment was established. So Truman was talking about running again after finishing his term, winning a second, and he was flirting with running a third term. But then I think that's when we established the 22nd Amendment, right? Are you looking it up? No, I think it's the 22nd Amendment. Doesn't matter if I'm wrong. Somebody will tighten me up in just a minute. Quick timeout. You'll hear from Abigail Zwermer, the elementary school teacher who was shot by a 6-year-old when we come back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show as Mookie Betts pops out, but it's tough play. They made the catch. And Shohei did not advance. Runner on second with one out, bottom of the first.
It is the 22nd Amendment. You are correct.
22nd Amendment. Thank you. Quick timeout. More TRBS. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 KERN. Start your day right to 9 a.m.
On the Tuesday edition of the First Look program, the death penny, what businesses are rounding up and which ones are rounding down. We'll talk water with the best in the business. That'd be Lois Henry. And we'll back all of that up with news, traffic, and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at 96.1 FM and streaming live on the internet at kernradio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
King Door Company continues to set the standard in the garage door industry, and I'm here to tell you a few of the reasons why. First off, King Door carries Clopay garage panels and LiftMaster openers, so you're guaranteed quality and reliability well beyond the reach of most garage door companies, and it just gets better from there. King Door has a fleet of service trucks with all the parts and tools to handle any job quickly and efficiently. And those trucks are manned by the most knowledgeable technicians anywhere. They have all the technical expertise imaginable and the most up-to-the-minute training available. In fact, King Door is so committed to training that they have the King Door Academy, a full-size, state-of-the-art classroom right on the premises with all the latest teaching aids, including working garage doors to simulate any installation, repair, or technique. Your garage door is a very important part of the safety, security, and look of your home. So don't trust it to anyone but King Door Company. Call them today at 397-2744. Stop by the showroom at 7450 District Boulevard or check them out online at kingdoor.com. King Door Company, your company with the pride of a lion.
This is your intrepid news reporter, Scoop Newsman, coming to you live from a helicopter high above the historic Santa Margarita Ranch. From this break reporter's lofty vantage point, I can see preparations are continuing for the return of the Jingle Bell Express that will whisk passengers to Santa's Village. Reports are that the historic Jingle Bell Express will be pulling amongst their cadre of rolling stock, genuine original Disney train cars. Once you arrive, kids and adults will be entertained like never before with a mystic magic show, a charming Christmas market, adorable pony rides, and more food, fun, and frivolity than ever. The Jingle Bell Express will be arriving at the historic Santa Margarita Ranch November 28th and running until December 21st. But get your tickets now. This reporter also has a source deep inside Santa's village that has confirmed that if your plans change, your tickets can change too from now until November. So make sure you reserve your seats on the Jingle Bell Express by going to christmas@themargarita.com before the Christmas train passes you by.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
No one can beat us, no one can touch us. You won't find better prices. Shop and compare, we don't care. Take a look our way and come into
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
Oh no, Dad, I spilled juice on the carpet.
Don't worry, kiddo. We have stain-resistant carpet from Carpet Outlet Plus.
Dad, Lucky dunked his water bowl all over the new floors.
Everything is fine.
Nope.
We have brand new waterproof floors from Carpet Outlet Plus. You can find everything you need for family-proof floor at Bakersfield's best flooring store. Now offering 1 year, no interest financing. Carpet Outlet Plus, 3.5 blocks west of 99 on Rosedale Highway.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Big at bat. Will Smith's got a full count with Shohei in scoring position. And Max Muncy on deck. We can get a little base hit here. Max come in with a 2-run home run, take a quick 3-0 lead. This is a huge at bat. This is a huge pitch. 3-2 with 2 outs. Shohei in scoring position. Will Smith's hitting 406 in the playoffs. And he pops it up just like the other players, but at least it went out of play. Freddie and Mookie popped out. Even a fly ball would have gotten him to third with 1 out for Mook, but we couldn't get it done. He flied out to short right field, not far enough. And then Freddie popped out into the infield. Not that anybody is listening to us at this point. Most Dodger fans are in front of a television. And Scherzer struck him out. That's a big strikeout. He looks good. His slider looks really good. He's throwing an 89-mile-per-hour slider that looks like a fastball, and it's just moving away from these guys.
I cannot believe this will be the 4th team that Scherzer has pitched for in the World Series.
That's got to be a record.
It has to be.
That has to be a record. 842-5376, 842-KERN. What do you got on the board?
Trump inherited millions from his father and squandered it many times over. The overwhelming vast majority of his current wealth comes from his crypto scam that he launched right before the inauguration. Ralph, your idea that Trump is some sort of self-made man is an absolute fiction. Turn off Fox News.
Shut up. I have never described Donald Trump as a self-made man. What I said was he's worked for his money as opposed to Gavin Newsom. You can't compare. Are you going to tell me that Gavin Newsom worked in real estate and made the kind of money that Donald Trump made? No. He's 25 years old investing in a winery at 25 years old. I wonder where he got that money. And then as Kathy pointed out, he got into politics and he just kept winning and winning. His aunt would back his play, his aunt Nancy Pelosi. And I don't give a damn how many times he squandered his money. You're trying to tell me that he only came into money in the last 5 years? Have you been following Donald Trump at all? Do you know anything about his life? When Democrats loved him, when the Clintons invited him to his wedding, when he was a powerful mover and shaker in New York City? Really? This idea, you're the one that's convoluted with this idea that he his millions and his dad left him and he was a bad business guy and blah, 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 blah. How the hell did he run for the presidency? You're not an average Joe for the presidency. Nobody who isn't wealthy runs for the presidency. And the whole point was to compare him to Gavin Newsom. Why do we get more texts from liberal Democrats? Is it the same guy probably?
It's possible, or all of the people that like you are on YouTube now.
And I rarely read what's on YouTube. I need to do that more often. Crazy. Just going to create stuff that I said, that I call Donald Trump a self-made man. Never said that. And I don't have prostate cancer. Quick timeout. Final half hour of the broadcast. It's TRBS on a Monday. I'd stick around if I you.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. A Utah judge ruled that the 22-year-old man charged with killing Charlie Kirk can appear in court wearing street clothes but must be physically restrained due to security concerns. Attorneys for Tyler Robinson said images of him shackled and clothing would spread widely in a case with extensive media coverage. Israel's foreign minister says his government will not allow Turkish troops to take part in a future international peace force in Gaza. Creating a force to oversee the ceasefire. Israel's foreign minister Gideon said that Israel opposes Turkey's participation because of President Erdogan's hostility to Israel. This is SRN News.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180
Robbins, a 23-year-old man from Lindsay, is after reportedly getting a 13-year-old girl pregnant.
Really?
The victim had her baby at the age of 14.
How can we sit here and say that,
to the
and then they
Tulare
do
County
exactly
Sheriff's
what we tell
Office,
them not
the
to
baby's
do,
father
and
was
they get a baby
identified as Gerardo Calea of Lindsay. Deputies spoke to both the teenage mother and
Crazy.
Calea.
Crazy.
They say that Calea was
Right
in a
down the heart of the
relationship with
plate.
the girl since she was between the
And
ages of 13.
look at how up that
Plumbing
is.
problems
Waist
ended up
high.
shutting down the county administrative center on Truxton Avenue. Facilities personnel worked to solve the issue. The building had to remain closed all day Friday. Business offices will resume normal business hours today. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Meet Paul Sheldon's client, Norma Diaz, owner of La Rosa Fruit Bars and Ice Cream.
Hi, I'm Norma Diaz from La Rosa Fruit Bars and Ice Cream,
JR?
and I'm a client
he's ahead
and
of us?
friend of Paul Sheldon. I've known Paul for many, many years, and my parents happened to be his first clients. So, of course, I called Paul and immediately felt this peace come over me, knowing that I didn't have to freak out about making a big decision. His knowledge about Medicare and your health insurance needs are beyond compare, and I was taken care of immediately by his wonderful staff. He knew everything that I needed and what I wouldn't need, so I was pretty much in and out of there.
that far ahead of us?
If you're getting to that age or you're
All right, but don't. Are you about to look?
Medicare, then he's the one to call. He will totally help you out and get you pointed in the right direction. You're going to leave there feeling a great accomplishment and no concerns. And even if you have questions later, his staff can help you out. Those feelings are just priceless.
Did I not have a
call Paul. You'll be glad you did.
When Medicare
Tasty Steakhouse
matters,
today?
our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th. So go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
Oh, they thought it was a walk, and we got him. That's what he was clapping.
It's Medicare coverage, California.
He thought it was a walk, and he started walking off.
Travis Buck Sexton show.
Wow,
1
that's
week away from
crazy.
the elections in Virginia, New Jersey,
That's
and
what
New
JR
York
was
City,
clapping.
with all voting underway. What do we expect to see? What is
That's
the latest? There. Plus,
crazy.
President Trump is in Asia, meeting in Japan, soon to be meeting
Let's see
in
if he
China.
calls
We'll
it.
tell you what to expect as that trip rolls on. All that and more. You won't want to miss
He
it.
called
Tuesday
it.
edition. Clay and Buck.
Live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1
And you don't say anything when
and
it's said.
AM 1180.
Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show. A News Talk.
You see, oh my God.
1180 KERN.
Well, we've got controversy. I don't know if you guys are watching. I'm assuming you are.
They're
But
probably way ahead of us.
yeah, you're way ahead of us, so I don't have to talk about it. But that was crazy. Where was it Varsho or whoever it is?
Varsho, yeah.
It was a 3-2 pitch. The umpire called it a strike. It was not a strike.
I'm assuming it was a 3-1 because he's still up the bat.
No, it was
right
3-2.
now. No, because he's still up the bat.
Well, then what?
It's a full count. That's what I'm saying. He just walked him.
So it was 3-1. I thought
It was 3-1, which is probably why Bo Bichette was tagged out, because in a 3-1 situation, you're still alive as a base runner, but in a walk situation, you wouldn't be.
I don't understand. I thought it says 3-2, so Fox got it wrong. And then there was
again, because Varsho was still up.
But oh Lord, here we go.
Varsho is now on second, headed for third.
And he's going to be at third with one out, first and third. Can Tyler Glasnow do what Yoshinobu Yamamoto was able to do? He's in the same exact situation. In fact, I think YY was first and third with nobody out, I think, and he got out of it.
Alejandro Kirk.
Of all people, I think he's in like 202.
He's, you know what? He's one of those guys. We were just talking about it on Early Bird this morning. Sparky had brought it up, but he's one of those guys that comes through every single time.
This ain't good. This is not good. Addison, somebody's coming up, is hitting like 100 something. So just throwing fastballs. Just need a ground ball to get out of this thing. But 842-5376, 842-KERN. As I mentioned, Abby Zwermer, the elementary school teacher who was shot by a sixth grader, her trial is underway. They're trying to go after Ebony Parker, the assistant principal. Here is the now, I think she's 28 years old now. She was 25, 26 years old when it occurred. They warned the assistant principal throughout the day that there was a child, a 6-year-old, with a gun. They repeatedly told her that this kid had the gun and that he was acting peculiarly. The children had seen the gun, and she said, we'll wait till after school. And during school, Abby got shot. Here she is on the Today Show this morning.
I remember him pointing the gun at me. I remember the look on his face. I remember the gun going off. I remember feeling something. It was a pretty scary day.
How do you even make sense of something like this?
You can't. You can't. I'm not sure when the shock will ever go away.
Yeah. You live with that PTSD. As I've told you guys, I got ambushed in a bar. Come in. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Glasnow miraculously, and we're going to hear about this forever. Lose the World Series, they'll claim this lost it, because not only did the umpire miss the call, but he ended up walking anyway.
I think,
although it cost them an out and a runner. So instead of it being first and second with out,
what game doesn't have an umpire missing a call?
Well, that won't happen next year.
Oh, yep. Not with the all.
Now it'll be interesting. Let's say that the rule was in place right now, and he wanted to appeal, and the runner at first wanders off thinking it was a ball,
if he
and he gets tagged out.
If he had appealed, it would have been a timeout. So,
but he would have done it after the guy wandered off. Remember, because he's walking off. It's a 3-1 pitch,
right?
And it's called a strike. And the runner the batter starts to walk up first base, which caused the runner to go off. So he would have had to have stopped and then appealed. But by that time, they would already tagged the guy out at first. So I'm wondering, does that annul the play at first and you get to take a look at it?
I would think so, yeah.
Do you guys know what's happening? We're going to the box next year where you have 2 appeals per game, and it's between the batter, the pitcher, and the catcher. The manager cannot ask for an appeal. One of those 3 players have to ask for an appeal. You only get 2, and the players don't like it because the players are often wrong. And when do you use it? Would you have used it then in the 2nd inning?
Yeah, probably not.
With a runner at first, nobody out, instead of having first and second, nobody out? I think you would have used it right there.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair.
I think you would have used it right there.
Especially if you have 2 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they would have used it right there. First
you
and
only get
second,
one,
nobody out.
Probably not. But 2,
Yeah.
yeah, you're probably right. You would use it.
Because a fly ball gets you to third. 2 fly balls score you a run.
Because you need one at least for the last 3.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to save one for the 9th. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. But that won't happen next season. Isn't that crazy? Meantime, I got some other audio I want you to play. Steve Bannon is fueling the fire on a 3rd Trump term. He was, I don't know what podcast he was on, but here's what Steve Bannon had to say about Trump in 28.
Well, he's going to get a 3rd term. So Trump 28. Trump is going to be president in 28. And people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is. But there's a plan, and President Trump will be the president in 28. We had longer odds in 16 and longer odds in 24 than we got in 28. And President Trump will be the president of the United States, and the country needs him to be president of the United States. We have to finish what we started. And the way we finish it through Trump. Trump is a vehicle. I know this will drive you guys crazy, but he's a vehicle of divine providence. He's an instrument. He's very imperfect. He's not churchy, not particularly religious, but he's an instrument of divine will. And you can tell this of how he's pulled this off. We need him for at least one more term.
I don't see a judge in America that would interpret the Constitution that would allow anybody a 3rd term. I just can't see it. And I think even if there are Trump-appointed judges that would allow it to jump on appeal, I think the United States Supreme Court would vote 9-0 that he can't do this. I just, and then it gets into, you get into, George Washington. They're doing this intentionally. You know that, don't you?
Yes.
Just to drive me nuts, but that's okay. George Washington had a big decision to make and opted to step away. So did Thomas Jefferson, because Jefferson talked about running a 3rd time as well and backed off, even though they were yelling for him to run for a 3rd term. And it set the precedent that was never, ever challenged again until 1940, when Franklin Roosevelt was able to do it on the strength of a possible world war. That's the only reason that Roosevelt got a 3rd term. You don't change horses in the middle of a stream, is the old phrase. And you don't change presidents when he's been negotiating with the Japanese and with Western Europe to try to hold off Hitler. Because remember, in 1940, when the election came up, Hitler is running rampant in Teo Hernandez. Yeah, yes, sir. And we're on the board. Like I didn't know that.
Like Toronto
Flores,
right now.
Flores coming running in here and jumping up and down because he wanted to see it on TV.
I didn't know they were paying the umpires in LA.
Oh, please. That's what we're going to hear. That's certainly what we're going to hear. But I think it would be 9-0. I really do. I don't think there's any judge in America that would allow this precedent, but we've seen a lot of different things, Jack. We really have. But again, I think the Supreme Court would vote 9-0. I really do. And again, that's the only reason that Roosevelt even contemplated a 3rd term. If you go back and read some of his writings on why he did It was because of that. And think about that. What if we had voted in a brand new president in 1940? So he is inaugurated in January of 41, and 8 months later, he's got a world war on his hands. 8 months after the new president, let's say it was Thomas Dewey, who I think challenged Roosevelt in 40. 8 months later, he's got to deal with, he's never met the Japanese. He's never dealt with the Germans. He's never dealt really with Western Europe, because Thomas Dewey was a famous prosecutor in New York who went the Rudy Giuliani way. He became famous by going after gangsters, and he kind of cleaned up New York a little bit. He's responsible for the death of Dutch Schultz, because Schultz was going to whack Thomas Dewey, and the mob was smart enough to know, led by Lucky Luciano, Charlie Luciano, that you can't kill a DA, not in the most populous city in America, without all hell breaking loose on the mafia. The one thing you have to know about the mafia is, unlike gangbangers who just indiscriminately shoot people and end up killing a 5-year-old kid like Case and Guyton, the mob is very specific, and they go out of their way not to attack civilians and not to attack cops or public officials. And it's, you know, it's within our family that we shoot one another, but we try to stay away from going after civilians. In fact, there's a famous case, I think it was Anastasia. I forget Anastasia's first name. The famous barbershop killing, where he was taking a shave and they came in and killed him in the barbershop. He was head of a crew, the Murder Incorporated. And there was a guy, an innocent citizen, who found Willie Sutton. Willie Sutton was a very, very famous thief who came up with the phrase. They asked him, "Why do you rob banks?" And he said, "That's where the money is." And it became like this cliche throughout like the first 50 years of the 20th century. And he became a well-known thief and criminal. Well, this innocent cat ratted out Willie Sutton, not involved with the mafia, not even Italian, but Anastasia, what was it, Victor Anastasia? Alan Anastasia? Hey, Siri, what is Anastasia's first name?
I found two. Anastasia.
Hey, Siri, show me the gangster Anastasia.
Albert.
Albert Anastasia. Albert Anastasia had the kid. He didn't like rats, so he had the kid whacked. And a lot of people think that is part of the reason that they whacked him, that the mob whacked him, because they do not like going after civilians. So, no. 1-0 Dodgers in the bottom of the second. Kike Hernandez, Mr. Playoff, is up with Andy Paez on deck. But Teo Hernandez has started the scoring for the Dodgers. If you're stuck in your car, and although Kike just struck out, but nevertheless, there it is, Tyler. There's your one run. Get us to the 7th. Bring in a rookie. Quick timeout, wrapping this thing up. Tomorrow's a Tuesday. One of our favorite regulars, our former federal magistrate Judge Teresa Goldner, will join us. And game 4 of the World Series will begin again at 5 p.m. Shohei Ohtani gets the ball for the Dodgers. Mike Big Dog, sent me a little text message. They've already got the plaque up where he hit the ball out of the stadium.
Might as well.
Well,
Kyle's up there too.
I was going to say, they got Kyle's up before the end of that series. So you damn skippy, they got Shohei's up.
Picture with that next to him there.
Yeah, you going to go out there? Final timeout. Keep it locked. The Charlie Kirk Show at the top of the hour. It's the Ralph Bailey Show you're listening to on News Talk 96.1, and we're streaming live, kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
On the next Armstrong and Getty show, the homeless industrial complex making billions in
Whenever you're ready, we can bust out your promo.
What? Oh, you want to do the thing?
Might as well get you out of here early.
Yeah. Three, two. So the preliminary hearing for Ray Mata Jr. and Graciela Bustamante, the two responsible, in my opinion, for the death of young Genesis Mata, 8-year-old girl found tortured to death at the La Quinta Hotel. But isn't it amazing that the folks at DHS that we had on last week claimed that they give themselves an A, with the numbers that came out and the grand jury report that said they're completely understaffed? It's absolutely remarkable. 3, 2, it's that man again. Look what's coming up on the Tuesday TRBS. Well, it's a Tuesday. Our former federal magistrate judge, Teresa Golden, will join us, and we'll walk you up, obviously, to first pitch in Game 4 of the World Series. All that, plus me at 3, it's TRBS. News Talk 96.1, and we're streaming live at kernradio.com. I'll see you at 3.
Switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start
what's he
earning
saying?
cash back today.
Chris, what's he saying?
Every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back?
Is he whining about the third strike?
Download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FAST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FAST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FAST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
The Charlie Kirk Show, weekdays at 6 p.m. on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
Thing is that, and it's slow movement, which is even worse. I didn't even talk about that today. The Jamaican hurricane. We on? The freaks come out. The freaks come out. So I'm eating area in KC's. Dude, I think I'm gonna have another filet. That filet I had Friday night was so good.
Although that is,
and now they offer it with mushrooms and onions over the top.
Oh, that's not really good.
Yeah, I'm definitely having
What I was gonna say though,
because I had nothing but chicken. You know, I had my grande avocado chicken thing last night.
Again.
And then Saturday, oh, look, there's Magic. And his sweet little white LA top.
He was probably never worn.
And then Saturday, I had pollo con paño, and Friday night I had the filet. I don't normally do 2 steaks in like a week's time, but
I was going to say the gout. Don't forget the gout.
I know. I've had no problems. It's not meat with me. It really isn't, because I eat meat all the time. And it's like, oh, what is this all about? That's Joe Torre, isn't it? Oh, he's with MLB now. And that's
that's right. Mookie won the
the
Clemente
Roberto
Award.
Clemente Award. Oh, that's outstanding. That is outstanding. Our man, Mookie. And again, for the Caucasian members of our audience, Spike Lee, a Morehouse man, did a motion picture called Do the Right Thing. And there was a character that stuttered, and his name was Mookie. And throughout the entire motion picture, they would say, Mookie, when he would introduce himself. And hence the reason I refer to Mookie. I did that at a Dodger game, and everybody looked at me like I was crazy. Like, this kid's got a stuttering problem? But the Roberto Clemente Award is essentially the NFL's or the MLB's version of the Walter Payton Award. And I forget what it is. Do you know what it is in basketball? If it's not, it'll soon be the Jerry West Award, I bet. Do you know they're talking about changing the logo?
Oh, they've been talking about that for years.
Do you know what they're talking about changing it to?
They better change it to Michael.
I was watching Up in Smoke or Smokey the Bear or Smokey and the Bandit. What the hell is it called again?
All the smoke.
Whatever. And they suggest that it be, who did they say it should be? Oh, it should be Shaq.
The dunk with
the
Shaq?
Yes.
Actually, that would be a good one. Too.
That would be a good one.
That would be a great one.
But you can't pass up Mike.
Well, but
you can't pass up Mike.
By
the way,
use Jumpman because that's already part of his logo.
The Nike logo.
Yeah, you can't use that. So what else would you use?
Him flying in the middle of the air when he did the Dr. J slam dunk from the free throw line.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know.
Halfway in the middle of the air like this.
Shaq's would just be pretty.
Shaq would be cool. And let's face it. The NBA is trying to reach the audience that loves Shaq. Young black and white kids who love Shaq, I think even more than Michael. I think your generation, well, you speak for your generation. Who are you a bigger fan of, Mike or Shaq?
Oh, that's a hard question. I
mean, for my generation, it's not even close. I mean, I love me some Shaq, and I think he's a better person than Michael. But for my generation, it's not even close. It'd have to be.
Well, no,
Mike.
I mean, are we asking as a basketball player?
Just as a logo, which one would you choose?
Oh, okay, as a logo, I'd probably go Michael first, just because of the lineage and obviously of who he is. But Shaq's logo would just be kind of cool to have.
It would be where he's hanging off the thing and his knees are all
but the
up.
only other thing that I'm thinking of too is how do you make that a silhouette?
I've seen it. It's not bad. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think they had it on Smokey and the Bandit or Smoke on the Water or Smokey Bear or I smoke too much THC. Whatever this is called. I don't know.
Smokey from Friday would be a good one as well.
Smokey from Friday. Oh, Smokey from Friday. I forgot about that. Let's read a couple of text messages and I'm off to Kern. I'm off to Casey's Steakhouse.
Ralph, Prop 50 is costing state taxpayers $300 million. So the White House ballroom is the same price. At least there's something to show for it with this money.
Speaking of the devil, you want to hear some audio?
Sure.
Real quick? Just to give you some sense. Do I have time to play this?
You got about $1.50.
I don't know if this is going to be enough time, but let me see if I can squeeze it in. No, that's the guy. That's the guy that just got
$1.30 now.
Oh, I don't think I have time. Here we go.
Places to do construction is happening right here, the front lawn of the White House. It's a 4-year renovation project. Estimated cost $376 million.
$376 million.
Pipes up to 100 years old, which are running into the White House, causing disastrous and dangerous conditions.
This part of the White House hasn't been upgraded since some of it was built in 1902 and then upgraded some parts of it in 1934. We have electrical lines, water lines that haven't been upgraded since, and basically we're digging underground to fix them up.
OPEC of the General Services Administration is overseeing the massive makeover of the East and West Wings, which include the Oval Office, the Situation Room, and the offices of the Secret Service and First Lady.
That was in 2010 during Obama's rain, and we got new plumbing and a basketball court. And it costs $350 million of your money. And this doesn't cost taxpayers, the ballroom doesn't cost taxpayers a dime. And already Eric Swalwell is suggesting for all 28 Democratic presidential candidates that if they win, the very first thing they should do is take a bulldozer to the ballroom. Unbelievable. Want to thank you for joining us. Thank Kathy Abernathy. Hope you're with us tomorrow when Teresa Golden joins us. In the meantime, Dodgers are up 1-0 in the bottom of the third. For Chris, I'm Ralph. That's what's really going on. Wrap to you tomorrow.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says after meeting with Chinese officials, a trade deal with China is drawing closer.
We have a framework for President Trump, President Xi to decide on, and we discussed a wide range of things from tariffs, trade, fentanyl, substantial purchase of U.S. agricultural products.
You might have to sit, Andy Paez.
President Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping
he's just doing
scheduled
nothing.
to meet on Thursday. In the wake of the government shutdown, food pantries in the D.C., Maryland, and Virginia areas have been busy. Furloughed NASA employee Elizabeth Anderson says she's thankful for the meal prepared by World Food Kitchen.
It's a little challenging to be a federal employee right now, not knowing when we'll head back to work. I'm thankful for the work that World Central Kitchen's doing, just to give us a little extra cushion for the furlough.
The government shutdown is in its 27th day with no end in sight. The NBA has started a review to protect the integrity of the game, players, and coaches following the arrests of Miami guard Terry Rozier and Portland coach Chauncey Billups. They were allegedly involved in gambling schemes. The league sent a memo to all teams highlighting the need to reassess sports betting regulations. Nearly 36 people, including Rozier and Billups, were arrested last week. The NBA is focusing on injury reports which can be exploited by bettors. The league seeks to ensure players and coaches understand the risks of gambling and
JR's clapping again.
Teams on how to proceed. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 337 points. The Nasdaq rose 432. More at townhall.com.
What's going on?
My friends at Pure Talk.
Chris, what'd you do?
Feel good about switching.
Did he hit one?
For instance, they're supporting Canines for
Motherfucker, I
Warriors,
missed that.
a terrific organization.
What'd you
that
do,
trains
Burdick?
rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD.
The
result, they're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why
a
I
World
switched to Pure
Series.
Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values.
Lord,
Yeah,
I gotta
I
take off my
appreciate
clothes, y'all.
unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial
Thanks,
pound
tune in.
250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro to switch to an American wireless company.